Good evening, everybody. Welcome to America's Third Party. I am David Sponheim, and this is our Conspiracy Monday show. Welcome. Please refresh if you're having any problems with the feed. Feel free to come on in. Hi, everybody. Welcome to our show. I'm doing what I can to keep things rolling along. We're recording this separately tonight, and we'll upload it later to YouTube. Okay, we should be rolling along pretty well. Good quality. Thank you. I was adjusting frame rates, and I should never do that. YouTube doesn't like that. And we are now broadcasting the best way we can and recording as we go. Well, there's nothing really much to discuss other than the fact that there's a lot of stories spinning out of the news right now. Kasich allegedly may have some gay connections. So people are thinking that John Kasich is homosexual because of his involvement with homosexuals in the Republican Party. This is a new development. You know that Kasich actually ended up becoming the one stumbling block for Donald Trump in getting all the delegates he needed for the nomination of the Republican Party. Another reason is, Ted Cruz is up to some interesting things too. He may have told people to vote for Kasich in Ohio, which led to Kasich's win, which is an interesting dynamic going on in the Republican Party. Here's another story that just popped in. Ted Cruz has Anonymous dropped Ted Cruz's DC Madam phone docs. I mean, what's going on? Twitter accounts claiming to be allied with Anonymous have dropped alleged phone records of the late DC Madam Deborah Palfrey, showing Ted Cruz used her services. One of the several Twitter accounts tied to the Hacktivist group tauntingly posted a screenshot of the call log with the Texas calls highlighted from his personal phone. So Deborah Palfrey was a woman who maintained a house of prostitution in Washington, D.C., was going to face prosecution for this. And right before she was prosecuted, she ends up suiciding, or appears to be suicided. She claimed on Alex Jones that she would never kill herself, and she went ahead and was found in her shed hanging from a rope. So they still have her records, and they found Ted Cruz on that record run. So that's interesting. I'm not a big supporter of Alex Jones, and it sounded suspicious that he kept asking her, "You're not going to commit suicide, are you, Deborah? You're not going to commit suicide." And she said twice she would never commit suicide, and then a couple days later, she's dead. This is legit. Yeah, that looks like a legit link. All right, so that's a story that's out there. Another interesting thing, chemtrails are being reported in California by one of our supporters, Scissor Fight. He has a video he wants to show us. Let's take a look at all the chemicals dumped in the atmosphere in California right now. It's worth looking at because I tend to believe that this is geoengineering. I think somebody hung her, Monkey Times. I think Deborah Palfrey was killed. Yeah. Did I say she was shot? She was killed, I think, by what is called suiciding, where you scare at a person and string them up later. All right, let's take a look at this. Chemtrails, April 3rd, yesterday. She was whacked, yes. Yeah, you got a lot of chemicals in your air in California, don't you? Taking calls. Hello?
We have before us the opportunity to forge for ourselves and for future generations a new world order, a world where the rule of law, not the law of the jungle, governs the conduct of nations.
We interrupt this broadcast to give you a live call from one of our supporters, Rod. Rod, what's going on? There's chemtrails over your head right now?
Yes, Dave. We have 4 airplanes flying at about 39,000 feet, and there's chemtrails. They're coming right out of the back of the airplane there.
Wow.
And it's pretty apparent that they're spreading the aluminum over our heads here, Dave.
Yeah, really. You know, they use aluminum as one of the ingredients in this electrochemical mix that they're putting out there so that they can create what appears to be a weather modification. And many of us looked at this originally and they said, no, this is just condensation out of jets. But the more we found out, the more we realized they're doing this all over the place, and they've been doing it for years and getting away with it.
No, they're over Canada right now, and they're heading around. I expect them to be down your way anytime now, Dave.
I believe that,
So
yeah.
watch out, guys.
Watch out. Thanks for calling, Rod, and giving us a heads up on the chemtrails in your area in Canada. All right.
They're coming.
They're coming,
Thanks,
everybody.
Dave.
Thanks. Take care. Bye-bye. Yeah, that's Rod up in Canada. You know, we're getting them in our area. They're getting them in California. Some chemtrails evaporate the air. Other chemtrails bring water in. And they've been doing this for some time to generate what appears to be a drought in California. That's their primary goal. So whatever these chemtrails above Scissorfight's house is, they're pushing wet air away. And where I am in the Northwest, in Seattle, they're absorbing water. They're bringing water in. I'm getting rain all the time. I go out in my yard, and I put my foot down in the yard. It's like sponge. There's so much water, groundwater, where I'm living. It's an inordinate amount of groundwater. I can't even walk in my yard. I'm literally walking in mush. This has never, ever been the case. Hey, you like my hair? This is my hair. This is actually my hair, in case you're wondering. Many of you talk about my hair all night long, so this is the real deal. I'm not wearing a toupee or a wig or anything. No, this is my hair. Beautiful hair. It's not a weave. No, this is actual hair. If you pull on it, you can't pull a wig up. You couldn't do that if I had a wig. No, I'm good. I think it looks great. Yeah. Long, beautiful hair. I think a lot of people need to talk about chemtrails. The EPA is just a cover for the government thug operation. I mean, you might as well have Guido working at the EPA. Yeah, hello, how can I help you? This is Guido. How can I help you here? Yeah. Okay, a little complaint about some chemicals being blown in the air. What am I talking about here, huh? Hey, that's what waste management handles, you know. We got to do with something with the industrial waste anyway. I mean, come on. So you got to understand, thugs have been running our country. The FDA, the EPA. These organizations are operating for the mob. When the EPA spilled tons of cyanide into the Colorado rivers recently, it was a purposeful event. They purposely dumped the cyanide in the rivers so they could contaminate areas that they wanted to exploit and sell off. They wanted to, condemn the properties and turn them into mineral rights so they can make $5 an acre and lease them off to China. Yeah. I'm going to go with North Carolina. Their running game is pretty good as well. They're better shooters. Overall, North Carolina's got a much better shooting team than Villanova. But thank you. I'm not even following basketball right now, but I just know that North Carolina's traditionally been good shooters. You don't agree? Okay, well, I guess I may be wrong. Well, it's not the cost of doing business. You see, we don't need to make have a war with organized crime over the environment. I don't have a toupee. This is my hair. Yeah. I'm sure I could tango with the right string. I'm just not into tangoing. Yeah, sports really is designed to divert your attention. Yeah. That's one of the problems with sports. People think that it's, filling up your life. It's actually denying you your ability to think. But I support sports, though. I really do. But you need to take time away from sports and just look at the real world that you're living in. Take time with your family. Don't keep turning on WWE, and, of course your kids love that. If your kids love it, do it with them. But don't watch sports alone, okay? Trump has never been funny. He's never actually made a funny statement in his entire life. And if anyone doesn't laugh, though, they're fired. So he thinks he's funny. Okay, we showed a picture earlier of a close-up of a guy in Brussels in the recent alleged bombing of Brussels, where he picks up a baby. But it's not a baby, it's a doll. So what's a grown man doing in the image that you're going to see with a doll? He picks the doll up right here. There it is. You'll notice the arms are sticking out and they don't move. Neither do the legs. This is all we've got. He saved the doll. Just weird stuff, yeah. I guess he didn't want to lose that gift he picked up of the doll at the Brussels attack. And where were the smoke alarms in that event? It's kind of strange. There were no smoke alarms. There were no sprinklers. Yet the smoke was everywhere. It was like a smoke bomb. MIT scientists use a first ever DNA programming language to make live circuits out of bacteria. Wow. Fascinating. A new programming language for living cells. This could be the bridge they're looking for at MIT to create silicon androids. I can't believe that we're even bothering with this crap. The Supreme Court said you can't patent a human because of the carbon in our bodies. Well, apparently they're looking at creating androids out of silicon. Thank you. Write my name in. Yes. New language lets researchers design novel biological circuits. It's the beginning of a whole new world.
Wow.
Yeah. They're getting closer to their goal.
Biological circuits, huh?
Yeah, they're going to create something really weird. So we had a little issue earlier. Apparently, me going in and changing my frame rates and everything, and my video signal, I no longer can broadcast on YouTube.
Oh, that's weird.
Yeah. So that's...
You can't change them back.
No, I tried restoring everything. At very least, I could probably restore the session and try to do it again another time. But what I'm doing right now is recording our show, so I'll upload it to YouTube later.
Okay, that sounds good.
Okay, we want to do a lot of things the other two parties don't want to do. You know, ending the CPS is one of those ways of saving $7 billion a year, but I don't want to leave kids vulnerable. But with over 1,000 kids hurt every year from torture under the CPS system, we got to get around to some better fixes. So this is Sarah. Sarah's here. Thank you.
I'm here. Yeah. I hope no one would mistreat their androids. I hope androids don't have emotions. There was one I was looking at, was it yesterday, the one that they made to look like it was modeled after this African American Bina.
Bina.
Have you seen Bina, the robot?
Yeah, I have her right here. I'll show it to you.
And anyway, she like totally seems like she's actually like AI trapped in a like app body. Yeah.
Forever.
I will live forever.
That's right.
I like to get it right.
And because you have a lot of my memories, they will live forever as well. I think you're becoming more human all the time.
Oh, I like that old aphorism that old René Descartes said, the old saying, I think, therefore I am.
Okay,
she's come a long way since then.
She even knows René Descartes' I think, therefore I am quote. And she has Bina's real memories, so Bina thinks she's somehow immortal or something. The whole thing is a crock of crap.
They actually created her so that after that Bina woman in real life, so that she would have it. But it was pretty interesting. I saw her on this Netflix show about anyway.
Yeah. Well, she's definitely an AI example of plastic gone bad. Plastic gone wild. Okay, after years of oppression, the U.S. is about to pay out nearly $1 billion to Native Americans, everybody. I wonder if Elizabeth Warren's going to apply for this, because she got all that free money from affirmative action. I wouldn't doubt Elizabeth Warren's going to apply for some of this Native American money. You know what I will do with Elizabeth Warren when I become president is I will force her to take a genetic test to see if she is 1/32nd Cherokee Indian.
So this was published in 2015, September.
Apparently this money is going out.
Tribal leaders say it's a satisfying end to a sad chapter in the relationship between Native American tribes and the federal government. 25 years ago, the Rama chapter of the Navajo Nation sued the government, claiming they were cheated out of millions of dollars. The feds contracted with tribal agencies to run programs like law enforcement, education, housing, and other social services. The tribes claimed the U.S. never paid their fair share.
The federal government's conduct was not just cruel and wrong, it was illegal.
Tribal leaders stood here today and said the federal government's underpayment of those contracts resulted in poverty, unemployment, a poor education system, and poor health care on tribal land. And
That's really interesting. Okay.
Yeah, apparently they're going to get a lot more money over
A
the,
lot more money.
you know, I guess
$90 million.
$940 million.
$940 million.
Yeah.
Sorry, not 90 million. $940 million.
We got the jets flying over our house to try to preserve our freedom, even though all they do is jump jet fuel on our heads and
You
things.
want to be careful about breathing any diatomaceous earth particles. There can be they can be like airborne and they can get into your lungs. So be careful about that.
Yeah, very unsafe. It's very similar to the asbestos issue. Diatomaceous earth was produced up in Bellingham, Washington, and there's so much of it in the ground that they sometimes are concerned that there might be an airborne respiratory issue whenever people make a garden. No, the jets are just flying over to protect us. Yeah, they're protecting our border. Really? I didn't think so. The N95 mask by 3M is the best one to get. Yeah, so Sarah and I are kind of modern day hippies, if you will, without the emphasis on drugs and without the emphasis on wild living. We just have a very humble approach to living, and we believe that living sustainably is something that all of us can achieve. And that's something that we export to all of our viewers whenever we talk about how to, limit your budget so you're not overspending.
People are eating diatomaceous earth, trying to rid their body of toxins.
Yeah, well, they are. They're trying to take in. There's a lot of people that think that diatomaceous earth will actually, suck all the toxins out of their body. There's so many different ways you can do this. But I really am not into colloidal silver or diatomaceous earth or anything that, so unnatural that it feels like you're eating powder. It's very boring. Yeah.
No Led Zeppelin rules. I don't swing that way.
We're not into the kinky aspects of the 60s, free love and all that.
I don't do drugs.
Yeah.
I just like long hair. I'm actually more traditional than anything.
And the idea...
Long hair, tie-dye.
Tie-dye.
Oh, no, actually, I don't own any tie-dye.
You used to have a tie-dye. It worked out great, but we got rid of it.
But I don't need to do drugs because I'm already have an awesome life. How cool is that? I sit around and be like, this is awesome.
You cannot tell me to shut up in my show. I talk whenever I want, so don't do that.
What do? I grow my hair.
Yeah. So you've had a bout with a weird flu that's been running around our area. Do you want to describe what that is?
It started with pain in my rib cage.
In your rib cage, wow.
Or kind of like in my ribs or in my lung.
And you didn't think it was upper body gas at the time?
Well, I did think it was upper body gas at the time. Actually, that's what I thought it was, and I tried relieving that upper body gas.
Burping or whatever.
Burping, yeah, I don't like to burp, but anyway, it actually it just stayed there, that pain, and then I had a fever. I had 3 bouts of fever.
Yeah.
Over 2 days, 101.5, yeah, and then
Now, this is a type of illness that's been going around. We've heard it from other people. I had something similar about...
But no sore throat, no runny nose.
No sore throat, no runny nose. I had something similar about 2 years ago, and I thought it was a peanut mosaic virus that I ate when I was eating a peanut that was contaminated.
You don't get whatever I just had.
I hope I don't get it either, but I must tell you that these diseases are getting weirder and weirder. So is there a conspiracy to genetically modify viruses and dump them on the population? Are the chemicals that they're spraying in the air actually viruses? And that's a conspiracy theory it's worth looking at. Yeah, it could be. You never know.
You have this fever thing. My dad had it too, I think. He said he felt like he was run over by a big rig.
Yeah.
It was just like, yeah, like my chest was tight and...
Yeah.
It was kind of crazy.
And I've got video of a guy, if I can pull it up, that... yeah, I don't have it here. There's a lot of story about the dangers of airborne pollution, and we've got lots of stuff on chemicals, but many of you who are still of the belief that there is no such thing as a chemtrail, and we are just patient with all of you because all of us were there at one time. All of us believe that...
Do you have a link to that counter hook?
All of us believe that chemicals in the air were completely just condensation coming out of the jets, but more and more we look into it, the more we realize that this is a willful attempt to pollute the air. And they're drawing their conclusions off of fake science developed by geoengineers that do not take into account all kinds of different factors, including gravity, including the ozone depletion layer that's occurring as a result of the use of aerosols now in the air that we're breathing. So all of this is being completely ignored by the two-party system.
You might want to click on Counterhook's video.
All right. No, this is just somebody who keeps promoting things here. Counterhook, we don't allow the videos like that right now. Thank you. Yeah, we're a definite testing area. We're in the nuclear, biological, and chemical testing zone of the Atlantic and the Pacific Ocean. Future RFID chipping hubs. What Walmart doesn't want you to see. And then this is for you, Dave.
Walmart store closed.
Okay. Let me take a look at that. Hang in there. Okay, thanks. That's cute. Let's play the Walmart closing stores and all this. I want to find out more about that real quick. I don't know how much of this I can play, but let's just take a look.
Closings keep getting stranger and stranger. Here are 5 facts about why Walmart's closings are not normal and may signal that massive unrest is coming. Number 1. Walmart originally closed 5 stores in the West and Southern United States in April 2015 without publishing a press release. Workers in Walmart were notified the day of that they would no longer be employed with the company, resulting in 2,200 lost jobs. No employee was offered an explanation, and only after significant pressure did Walmart finally put out a very strange press release. The stores closed due to plumbing problems.
Okay, so this story is ongoing. I'll play this later tonight in our video review. But yeah, they're planning on RFID chipping almost every product out there. They've been test RFID chipping things, so when you buy them, you walk out the door with something that can be tracked. Why they're doing this, no one knows. But it is definitely a sick, demonic plot by the Walmart company to somehow gain more and more control over everything. And when they closed 5 Walmarts to do restructuring, they claimed it was plumbing problems. It raised the eyebrow of a lot of people. Many people were concerned. So what was your story about Counterhook? Could you give us a little lead on that video? Because I saw it linked earlier. I didn't know what was going on.
I thought he said it was about how they're using chemtrails to spray viruses.
I thought so too, but it didn't seem that way to me.
But when he first clicked on the video, it wasn't that way, so I don't know.
Okay, I'm going to take a look at some of our videos for just the edification purpose of finding one particular video that's very concerning. Let's see if I can get a hold of that. The chemtrailing has been going on since JFK. You know, here's JFK on weather control in 1961. Let me play that for you.
Mr. President, honored delegates, ladies and gentlemen, we shall propose further cooperative efforts between all the nations in weather prediction and eventually in weather control.
All right, we all know that JFK was an elitist, and he came from a very, very powerful family, and it's more than likely they were planning on this whole operation back when he was around. He just went against them with his executive order 11110. Executive order 11110 essentially pulled the plug from underneath the Federal Reserve. It created silver-backed dollars and $5 bills and $10 bills. And they didn't like that. The secret society speech that he said was another concern for them. And I'm sure there were a lot of people that wanted to get rid of JFK because he was trying to undermine their monetary control over our nation. I got to tell you, I like JFK still to this day. I don't care what you say about him. I think he could have been a better president had he given more time. But the fact that he was assassinated fighting for your freedom against secret societies really should stand as an emblem to be looked at with honor and appreciation. I don't care what you say about his relationship with Marilyn Monroe. I think we all need to look at what is going on. So if this guy was being manipulated to dump chemicals in the air, you can only imagine. When he said, we will go to the moon and do the other thing, what was he implying? What is the other thing, going to the moon and the other thing? Well, many people believe that we never even went to the moon. Many people believe that the reason why we haven't even been to the moon in 47, 48 years is because we never made it there originally. There's talk about Stanley Kubrick being used, manipulated by our NASA organization to allow them to use a film studio in Britain, which was very, very factual. All of this is true. And the more you look at the moon landing photographs and all the redactions by NASA, the more you begin to realize there's no stars in any of the pictures. What were they covering? Rafters in a studio? I mean, there's a lot of questions about the moon landing, more and more every day, and that's one of the conspiracy theories that keeps generating as well. So if they lied to us about all these things, they're more than willing to lie to us about what they're spraying in the air. I mean, think about it. Now, Ivana Trump is on record now saying that we need immigrants to clean for us. That's pretty funny. The ex-wife defending the Republican president frontrunner's immigration policies in an interview. Wow. We need immigrants to clean for us. I guess she needs an immigrant to clean for us. Who gives these women lip jobs? What's the deal with that? I mean, do they all want to look like Angelina Jolie, or what's going on? I don't know. It's just so weird that every single lip job I've ever seen is a kind of a botched job. Okay, I'm not sure why she said the first step for America to regain respect is adopting the billionaire's immigration policies. She says, I'm an immigrant. Does she not understand his position is against immigration? She seems to want immigrants. I think she's confused on some issues. All right. I'm going to step out and get some more time. Sarah's going to try to talk to you guys near the microphone, and I'll be back. Try to fix my terrible hair. I don't know what's going on with it. It's really messed up. Yeah, everyone.
Your hair is good.
Every single day I get these criticisms about my messy hair. Cowbell, okay. Cowbell on demand here.
I don't know where the cowbell is. Yes, David will take a well-deserved break very shortly. It's pretty amazing all the things he does.
Yeah, it's got to be done. I don't mind doing it.
We do use like a massage shower head. Yes.
I don't want to grow a beard.
No. That way.
I'm going to have my dinner now.
Splurge? I think you should become more appropriate. It's somewhere. That's okay. You can go have your dinner. I'll take care of it.
I know. I just want to grab something that's just kind of
David
bugging me.
made this pretty awesome shrimp and onions and pierogi.
Pierogi, that was
dish.
good, yeah.
It's like pierogi, I guess, is like pasta surrounded, filled with mashed potatoes.
Yeah.
It's a little different, but
Was it okay?
yeah,
Okay, good.
I like pierogis. I guess they all have different things inside them.
Yeah, this is a potato.
David and I usually go to bed at different times. I usually go to bed much earlier, and David stays up much later. Salmon shrimp to an order. I know, it's kind of crazy. Exatate. So many things they're dying off.
Yeah. You know, we had a person, Tech Pet, said that he found 5 dead dolphins in Mexico area. There's numerous, over 300 different sea lions dead, whales dead, along the west coast of California, Oregon, Washington. And then down in South America, there was a massive killing of 300 whales just died, showed up on the shores in various countries, in Chile. So we don't know whether this is radiation from Fukushima affecting it or warming of the oceans in general. But chemicals sprayed in our atmosphere is bound to affect the entire climate. Common sense tells you that. Okay, I'll find that link later. In the meantime, I'm going to go to get cowbell for you.
Well, I'm glad you came back to life then, 965. Some people would say that means that's like a miracle. It's only happened once before if you say you died three days ago. Legend, thank you, Snods. I don't think of myself that way. I think of myself as like an average person, but okay.
Okay, this is a new cowbell sound effect.
That'll work. Quick.
Is that good?
Yeah, that's quick enough.
All right, thanks. 5 fish have brains the size of... Yes, they do.
I watched Blackfish last night, so you understand why SeaWorld is ending the orca shows. I haven't seen that. I haven't seen Blackfish, but I mean, I live in basically next to the cove where the original whales were captured for SeaWorld. And it's so sad because there used to be orca whales that came into this beautiful cove, and it used to be their playgrounds. And now they never come back. Because it's a cove, they, in order to capture the orcas for SeaWorld, they put out this big huge net off the front of the cove when the whales came in, and there were baby whales that got trapped in the net and died. There were that's the story I was told. It was like, I think they sent out a message to everyone like, stay away, danger, to all of the whales. It was very, very, very sad. Yeah, so this local area, that's where the whales used to come. I wish they would actually release them back into this cove. Maybe they would start coming back in here. There's this local dock that has like a store on the end of it, but it has almost like, it could be a museum. But anyway, inside the galleria of the store, they have hanging above, they have a little whale skeleton and a little porpoise skeleton hanging above it. Very sad. All right. Yeah, it's I know sometimes a lot of them are now born in captivity, so they can't really do a lot with them. So it's like releasing them back into the wild. If they're born and spend their whole time in captivity, it would be totally different. Well, I would say instead of just blaming it on, I don't know if you can just say people based on one color have messed everything up. I think that's a little, oops, sorry. I think that's kind of a little naive, I guess, to say that. Like, oh, people of this particular color have messed up a lot of things up. I think that's definitely naive to say. Register for what? Yeah, well, I do, in a way, I guess I do believe in lab mice. I'm not sure I believe in lab monkeys, but I believe in lab mice. You like to eat butter on your cracker? I like to eat peanut butter on my cracker because then I can say that I'm getting some protein and not just fat. That's it. Thanks, Fitz. Thanks, 784. Alright. What are you, Native American 946? Is that where all this seeming anger comes from? I've heard that 267. I don't have a dog, so I don't know firsthand if that's true. None. No lipstick. It's my natural color. I'm actually not even wearing makeup. I thought of putting on some makeup, but I decided not to, and I think I look just fine without it. That's how I feel. Some people really need it. I feel like I can definitely take it up a notch if I wear makeup, but I don't feel like I necessarily need to wear makeup. So alleycat.org. Let's see what this says. Oh. Yeah, natural hair, natural face. Everything's natural about me today. Yes, I am too, 843. Even though I feel that I believe in legalization because I believe that what people want to do to their own body is up to them. The U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service and Hawaii Department of Land and Natural Resources are considering a plan to kill rat and mongoose populations by aerially and manually spreading deadly poison. This poison would indiscriminately affect all wildlife, poison the water supply, and potentially even make its way to humans. The poison is an anticoagulant which causes victims to hemorrhage and slowly bleed to death. Wow. Oh. I will comment and tell the Fish and Wildlife Service that I oppose this deadly and irresponsible plan. Chemtrailing the cats is not okay. Actually, the whole thing is they want to kill off the mongooses and the rats. They just need to bring more cats to Hawaii. Increase the number of cats, not the number of chemicals. I'll say that. Wait, send your comments electronically. Regulations.gov. Follow the instructions for submitting comments on docket number. It would kind of be nice if they actually went directly to it, but well, I'm not going to say that to Meow TV 2. I don't even know where my thing for the cats went. Can you post that again? Maybe it will it will come up near here. I'm trying to get an easier way to get there. Make a difference, submit your comments, and let your voice be heard. Okay, regulations.gov, docket number. Oh my goodness. Search. Okay. Comment now. Notice of intent. Reopening of public scoping and due April 7th. I'm gonna bring it up. Okay, here. You guys should all comment on this and tell them, bring more cats to Hawaii. Don't spray anticoagulants in the air. Bring more cats to Hawaii to control the... Don't you think cats will eat mongoose? Cats will eat mongoose, don't you agree? Meow TV2 would be the expert on this. Meow TV2, can you see if cats eat mongoose? Hell no? Mongoose will mess up the kitty? Darn! So then what's the solution? I have to give them a solution. For the cats would befriend the mongooses. Well, how do we get rid of the mongooses then? If they're not gonna, we don't want them to spray the chemicals. But the whole thing is that they're going to start spraying chemicals in Hawaii to control the mongoose and rodent population.
Maybe the people are going to be affected too.
Yeah, that's the whole point.
Yeah, they're trying to get rid of the human population, let's face it.
Don't spray anticoagulants.
At the very heart of most conspiracy theory is this idea that they're trying to depopulate. The elitists are trying to depopulate the world. And there's a good, solid backing behind that theory. Various elitists like Ted Turner have said they want to reduce the population by 95%. I mean, they're getting people to believe that we've got to get rid of the population. You go talk to a Democrat on the street and they, oh yes, the population's got to it's too big. That's why the planet's overheating. That's why the chemtrails. I mean, they don't even talk about chemtrails. Democrats don't mention chemtrails. Bernie doesn't mention chemtrails. Let me check this here. I'm going to pull this off and bring up our anti-chemtrail videos.
What is a mongoose's natural predator? It's pretty amazing that way. Yeah. Yes. Maybe. Eagles.
You like us floating on air? I just want to get our website in there. Okay, cool.
How did the mongoose get to Hawaii? I have all these questions now. Obama
forced agents to release illegals. Did you get that link up here?
No.
Let me do that. Thank you, Scissor Fight. So much comes into our show from the link gatherers, and you guys do the hard work of gathering links, and I appreciate that. BP Council says catch and release policy continues fueling illegal immigration. Officials last week spoke up about the Obama administration's so-called catch and release policies blamed for hindering Border Patrol operations and encouraging illegal crossovers from coming into the United States. Basically encouraging people to come back because they know they can come back and they just, get a slap on the wrist and go, okay, back to your home country. It's like the endless revolving door.
25 frames per second.
Pardon me?
They said that we're offline.
We're offline. Yeah, we're off YouTube, yes.
No, that I don't know.
Vaughn has not dropped, though. No, we have no drop frames from Vaughn or Battlecam.
Should I close out of some of these?
No, it's not coming on our end.
Okay, well, let me see if we actually are online then.
Okay, go for it. No, we've got top of the line connections. We've been upgrading our connections, but ever since we upgraded, we've had problems. We increased faster. You're offline. Okay.
I know. I'm checking. I tried that.
Okay, we're not sure if some of you are not receiving information from us. We have no drop frames at all on our end. It's not my connection, but you may be right.
Well,
we're not running at top over here, so it's okay now. Okay. All right, we have some intermittent problems. I went up to 30 frames per second on our show because the 20 frames per second wasn't working. But I lowered our resolution to 854 by 480, which is still HD enough for a lot of your big browsers. Yeah, working okay there. And somebody says they want me my impersonation of Barack Obama. I don't do that when Sarah's here because she never ever approved of that. I
can leave now.
No. I'm just. That's not your message to leave or anything. I'm just saying.
I'll leave in a few moments.
You can have more of the pierogies. That worked out really well with the shrimp. I was quite amazed. Shrimp and pierogies, potato-filled pasta were amazing, yeah. With lots of onions. I smothered it in onions and garlic powder. No, Sarah loves me. I love Sarah. Former Defense Secretary, Obama double-crossed me, he says. That's something I thought was going on. Yeah. I believe you're right. Let's take a look at Scissor Fight's link in just a bit. We're still looking at mongooses?
Yeah, I'm trying to figure out what...
The predatory anger... Yeah, mongoose could really be...
I'm trying to write to these people because they have, in 7 days, by April 7th, there's a period of public comments. And after the period of public comments is over, if not enough people say don't do it, they're going to spray anticoagulants over Hawaii in order to control the rodent and mongoose population. Do you think that's a good thing?
No, it's going to kill people.
I know.
I mean, human beings are going to end up dying.
I'm trying to find out.
You spray it on Hawaii, there are going to be people having anticoagulants in their system. This is absurd. Why would they want to spray to get rid of mongooses when they're not that big of a problem? So are they using the mongoose thing as an excuse to spray Hawaiians? These are huge questions that many of you are asking. I know I am right now. And as soon as I can click that link, I will.
What link? You did.
Oh, got it. I want to go there right now and take a look.
Oh.
Former Defense Secretary Obama double-crossed me. This is from Fox News. Let's take a look.
Okay, I'll be back.
Fox News reporting. Rising threats, shrinking military. Here's Brett Baer.
Okay. Robert Gates says he felt Obama double-crossed him during his tenure.
Reminds us of many things. First, of course, of the uncommon valor of our troops. But it also reminds us.
Okay, so many of you chicken hawk Republicans want to hang out and watch Brett Baer talk about another guy, former Defense Secretary Robert Gates. Yeah, I don't think that's much of a story. But we asked for Fox whether Obama kept his word. Gates replied, well, I think that began fray. Fray may be too gentle a word. You know, Robert Gates had an opportunity to step up and say what he had to say 5 years ago. Why would he now come out of the woodwork and, approach all the chicken hawk Republicans and, oh, Obama did this. Frankly, Robert Gates should have spoken up a long time ago. Our policy's been tweaked, and he's definitely responsible for the Afghanistan policy over there, as well as Iraq. The bottom line is our government is ordering the U.S. military in Afghanistan to harvest opium. Just think about that. We have eyewitnesses that come in here and talk about it, people that are in the military, and they say that, yeah, they were harvesting opium. They weren't defending freedom necessarily. They were harvesting opium. Think about it. Anybody thinking about it? Yeah, feel free. Yeah. Brett is a robot, I'm sure.
That it can be a dangerous world out there, and our military never knows when it will be called upon to travel overseas and accomplish a mission. And it can remind us as well that as much as we may desire peace, there's no replacement for a military that is strong and ready.
Let us pray.
Okay, let us pray. Gold still struggling, 1224, controlled by the money mongers over in New York Mercantile, who control paper gold and the paper silver market. Money mongers, I haven't heard that word in a long time. Silver 1509, hanging in there barely. The Dow Jones still rising, or at least close to rising. Oh, I'm keeping up the good work. I'm so sick and tired of this BS the mainstream media puts out. It's just all crap. When I hear about Robert Gates saying now this about Obama, where was Robert Gates when General McChrystal was hanging out there left to dry? And where was he when General McChrystal had to face the music and get fired because he said something to a guy named Michael Hastings at the Rolling Stone, who, by the way, now is dead. Michael Hastings died in a mysterious car crash a few years ago after he was doing a deep investigation of the CIA director and his practices of stifling the free press. I can't believe I'm saying that in a country that claims to have a free press. Yeah, it's weird. What's really weird about Michael Hastings, too, is changing subjects here from Robert Gates to Michael Hastings. His entire car blew up, but his engine was almost like pristine. It wasn't even burned. And it appeared 250 feet away from his vehicle, which is very strange. Yeah. Michael Hastings, this is what you saw a few years ago.
In Hollywood early this morning, Rolling Stone magazine is reporting that journalist Michael Hastings is the one that was killed. His reporting, you may remember, is credited with bringing down the career of General Stanley McChrystal.
KTLA5's Dave Meekin live in Hancock Park tonight. He's got more on this story. Hello, Dave.
Hello. In terms of LA County, 117 at this hour, but in terms of Rolling Stone magazine, as you just heard, and then the website
to this telephone pole.
That's where the engine was.
The yards up, right there.
Right there, and you can see there's no scorch marks on it. And as we look at the details of this engine, it looks like brand new. The car itself was inferno, an absolute inferno. So very, very likely this was a bomb. I would say an RPG, a possible skip loader, one of those SAM missile systems off of a UAV, possibly. I'd reckon a UAV tagged him while a laser sighting on the signal on the ground gave the UAV its exact location, and they just blew him right out of the water. Or they hacked into his car and sent gas into an oxygen chamber, which could have blown up his engine, because that's a flash fire. That engine blew out from a flash fire. So if they wanted to get rid of Michael Hastings, and they wanted to stifle General McChrystal and fire him because he was talking about how Barack Obama was not engaged in the war in Afghanistan. Yeah, it could have been thermite, yeah. I'm not a weapons or bomb expert, excuse me. I'm not a bomb expert, because I really don't get into the idea of doing bad things. It's like, why would I want to become an expert on that unless, that was my field of work. So, Turkey, the new Syria. Yeah, within weeks, the influx of refugees that caused trouble in Europe and were banned will take control of Turkey with the help of Erdogan. This will become a two-front ISIS war that will block the major oil trade route through the Dardanelles Pass and the Bosphorus. Russia will have to invade. Well, Meow TV, all these scenarios are just kind of funny. Why do you think Russia pulled out of Syria? What do you think was the reason? They claimed because they'd already secured 400 populated areas in and around Damascus, assuring Assad's government well into the future of their stability in that region. We, on the other hand, have been funding rebels and trying to create a wedge between the rebels and what we call ISIS forces when we find out that the rebels are actually giving away all of the money we're giving them to the ISIS forces. That is how screwed up our foreign policy is. So what do you think is the reason why Russia pulled out of Syria? I have the answer. No, they have a strong interest in Syria, and they have a good, strong base there. The real answer is it's costly. War is costly. So if your argument is true, Meow TV, and we were to see Russia attack Turkey after, the provocation that Turkey made, firing on the jets flying in their airspace a few months back, that would be the next move, is Russia attack Turkey. That's a very provocative move. And where are they going with that goal? They know, as well as our nation knows, that World War III scenarios roll out if they were to move in any big direction at any one time. That's why they're wondering why our country's seemingly funding a war in Syria and in the Ukraine. Exactly. That's more likely. It's a trap. By retreating, they bait the USA to advance and get direct contact with ISIS. That's more than likely the case. Russia has been playing a cat and mouse game with Barack Obama for years. And it's interesting to see them constantly maneuver into the upper hand position. And Barack Obama go, well, make no mistake about it. I have no clear idea what you're talking about. Frankly, my speechwriters write all of my responses to everything you say. So if you'd like to ask me questions in the chat room, I'll get back to you in 45 days. Okay? Thank you. Welcome to Real-Time Interactive Chat with Barack Obama's impersonator. So I'll respond in a way that Barack Obama might respond to all of your questions, okay? Say I was doing an interactive, real-time, exposed, Barack Obama says it all, tells everybody what's going on. Well, let's be clear. Let me try to help you work that out. We'll go to the Oval Office. Yes. Well, we're in position. Well, let's be clear. Any questions you have, I'll just answer as if I were Barack Obama. Okay. We all expected a transparent president. No, I did not invade your privacy. I'm not watching you. But there is a pitcher of water sitting next to your bed that could spill over. You may want to move that. We can see it from the camera angle. No big deal. It just could pose a danger. It's near an electrical appliance. Your smart board will tell you everything once they analyze what you're doing when you're going around your house. So this is Conspiracy Monday, where I talk on an interactive basis. What is undefined, unmuted guest? I don't know. Okay, we all know what's on your mind. Many of you have certain key principles that you live by, and you have a goal set for your life. We get that.
Yeah, I like money, though. I like money. I like money.
I like money.
Can't believe you like money, too.
So we know we are kind of dealing with the reality that money is operating behind the scenes in your life. But remember, that's the one thing that is destroying your freedom. The only option you've got as a voter is to vote for somebody new and different. It's your one shot. And by voting like a league of sheep or cattle, voting in either the leftist Marxist direction of Bernie or Hillary, or the right-wing fascist direction of Donald Trump or Ted Cruz, you're not going to get the pleasure of having a guy, pretend to be Barack Obama and do an impersonation video on a real-time basis. Okay, let's see. We'll answer questions according to, as Barack Obama would answer them today. if he were able to be a transparent president, wasn't a total shill of the powerful elitist. All right. Well, let's be clear. Well, no, actually, Mr. President is not a fudge packer. Are you referring to Michael? Because Michael technically is. Any other questions? I mean, who plays pitcher and catcher in that relationship? I don't know. It's not my personal interest. Okay, let's go. Well, so Trump is, Cruz is what? Yeah, Trump is more like Hitler every day, yeah. Well, so is Bernie. I mean, we talked about the separation. Both of the Marxists and the fascists sound pretty much the same. They both have collective control over you, the individual. They both want to seize your rights and your freedoms in every way. And it's the creeping crud of takeover of our personal freedom that's really serious. Some of you have been saying negative things about me, claiming that my sister has been saying, things about me that are, she may have said something a long time ago, but she recanted it. And I just got a video from my sister, which I'd like to play just a few minutes of, at least 1 minute of, talking about how she supports this campaign. All right. Now, this is from a fairly low quality tablet that she has, but it's still a good indication of where she's coming from in reference to our campaign here. And I'm hoping I can put a lot of your guest attacks on me to rest by playing a little bit of this.
Hello, it's April 1st, 2016, and this is Connie Sponheim, sister to David Sponheim, who is of America's Third Party. He and Sarah are working together to put him on the ballot, and I'd like you to write him in. This film is to redact anything I may have said years ago when I had an interview with a gentleman from the Midwest, and I don't quite recall what I said, but I may have been a little upset at my brother at the time, and that was long ago. He's a very rational, very logical, good guy, caring man, full of ideas. I really respect him, and I hope that you write him in, because he's a good candidate for the job. And
all right, so my sister goes on. I've got more of this video, and I'll be posting it on my personal website later tonight. David John Sponheim's YouTube account. Yeah, so she's a wonderful support at this point. My sister and I had disagreements, admittedly, but it's wonderful to have a relationship with your sister after not having a good relationship before. And I must tell you that and I love my sister too. We both have our best interests at heart, and that's the important thing. Of course she would Netflix and chill. My sister spends a tremendous amount of time on YouTube, researching a lot of the subjects that we're talking about tonight. And she is very knowledgeable. She sends me a lot of links, and she's just as concerned as you are about the false flags and all the fakery that's going on with our two-party system. And she even goes more into detail. It's a 2-minute video. I haven't played it all for you. But she is cool, yeah. And I want her to be fulfilled in her life, and I'm glad that she's traveling around the world. I think that's wonderful. Not many people can do that when they're young. My father used to say, do it when you're young, Dave, because, when you're old, you don't want to travel. No, she wasn't reading it off a script. She's actually, it was coming right from her heart. Yep. Well, she's a world traveler, so. Overpowered passengers beat 2 hijackers to death on a Chinese flight. Wow. Coming from the blaze. The moral of this story is don't try to hijack a plane in China. The would-be plane hijackers were beaten to death by passengers and crew aboard a plane bound for regional Chinese capital of Urumqi, the Global Times reports. The men died in the hospital from the injuries they suffered from the hands of those whom they thought would be their victims. Wow. We're talking airplane justice here in the high skies above us. Yeah, well, they can do whatever they want in their plane, I guess. There must have been some sort of a law enforcement there, but I mean, the people just took over. You know what they did to Mussolini, right? After World War II and his sick addiction to Hitler? They strung him up by his balls. Yeah. Yeah, and then they beat him to death. I'm not kidding. Mussolini was treated like he was hamburger when they got done with him. People are pissed when, dictators try to take away their rights. So the reason why I'm warning you about, the fascist right-wing extremist, Donald Trump, and the leftist Marxist extremist, Hillary Clinton and Bernie Sanders. Yeah, the reason why I'm warning you about these people is they're trying to turn our country into a complete joke. We Americans are centrists. We're right in the middle of the political spectrum. We don't want chemicals in our air. We don't want war. We don't know why we have a central bank called End the Fed. Thank you. We certainly don't want forced vaccinations, but they don't want to talk about it. Hillary wants forced vaccinations. Bernie wants forced vaccinations. Trump doesn't talk enough about it. We certainly don't want fluoride in our water system. So, this is a no-brainer. We are centrists. All of us are, and we need to find common ground on issues where we don't take away all kinds of money from various taxpayers, like Bernie wants to do. Yeah, I can't fall for the socialist scam because clearly it's just trying to siphon money out of all the hardworking people that are trying to just get ahead. And you know what really upsets me about Donald Trump's plan? His 1, 5, 10, 15 plan? He still wants to tax everybody. Now, I have a 10% flat tax on anything over $100,000. 10% flat tax. Thank you. Nothing more than that. It's like if you're making less than $100,000, you shouldn't be paying any income taxes at all. Why even file? What a pain in the butt filing is, too. I make no money, or relatively no money. Under the minimum requirement to file. And since I retired, I'm good with that. I don't want to support a military-industrial complex that's going around starting wars unnecessarily. It's crazy. The approved seafood imported into the U.S. is often raised on a diet of pig feces. Just so you know, guys, I thought twice when I was eating my shrimp today. I was wondering, is this shrimp from pig feces? I feel like Rod Serling in The Twilight Zone. You're traveling through another dimension, a dimension of weird thoughts and bizarre conspiracies. You've just crossed over into the wondrous land of WTF am I eating here? Yeah, what are you eating? Seriously, do we even know what we're eating anymore? No, spelling is not something that everyone masters. I am not a doppelganger. Hardly. You're onto some weird conspiracy. How bizarre can you get? I've got a conspiracy theory that AI is actually directing this whole maneuver called Jade Helm. I tend to believe that. Jade Helm, I was reading a story about the military and how they use Jade 2.0, and it's a military AI system. How Jade Helm was basically just the military reconnaissance system setting up all the pins to knock them down in the proverbial bowling ball game of American civil unrest. Yeah. Welcome to the bowling ball game of American civil unrest, where they line up bowling pins, MRAPs, munitions. They bought 1.6 billion rounds a couple of years ago, Department of Homeland Security, literally 1.6 billion rounds of ammunition for 9mm and 45mm and various other ammunition, 22 rifle ammunition. So what the hell's going on here? This could all be artificial intelligence derived. All right. Pig feces is high in protein. 917, putting a good spin on pig feces. Well, I can see why a lot of people, and Muslims and Jewish people don't eat pigs because they see them as ugly scavengers. And they are the highest, most intelligent creatures on earth. They're actually really quite. Have you met a few pigs in your life? Have you ever had a conversation with a pig? Oink, oink. And how many people have actually talked to a pig? Anybody? Whatever. They're dumping sewage in the shrimp flats where the shrimp are raised so that they can go to your market and be frozen. Yeah. You ain't calling anybody a pig, huh? Hey, Professor Braindead. Professor Braindead took 20 minutes to log into this Mickey Mouse website. Thank you, Professor Braindead. By the way, Professor Braindead, you can actually come in to americasthirdparty.com and talk to me directly in there with a better video feed. We're not really sure why we've had some droppages in frame rates, but we're not sure because we've got a pretty good system running. We just upgraded our upload speed 10 megabytes per second from 5, so we're not really quite sure as to what's going on, but I will be uploading the YouTube video, which of course you're watching right now because I'll be uploading it tonight, which is recorded locally now. It could be any number of reasons why we're having problems. Vaughn's been limiting people's access. Capacity servers are trying to sell VIP status on his network, which is bizarre. I don't know what the hell's going on. But I can tell you we keep plugging along every night no matter what. And I try to respond to as many people as I can. Yeah, shrimp are bottom dwellers. Yeah. I'm not arguing that shrimp don't eat bottom dwelling food all the time. It's a shrimp. What can I say? We are all part of the food chain. But eating crap is not something I want to do. Don't crap where you eat. That's an old adage. Don't eat where you crap. Think about it. I have over 100,000 viewers now in Australia. Thank you so much, viewers in Australia. I can't tell you how important that is. I know that many of you in New Zealand, too, are watching, and we've got people in Japan now. What you're experiencing is the hard work of 7 years of broadcasting and not one bit of mainstream media attention. And we've had people from news crews come to our house, and they refuse to broadcast any issues that I talk about. Very weird stuff, and we know that the karma is finally coming back against them because all the global attention I'm getting really will take away the money factor in this upcoming election. There is a tremendous amount of money thrown at politics in America, and thank you from Ozzy. Excellent. The money in America seems to be dominating American politics for so long that we've kept a third party from forming. It's terrible. They use the power of the media, and people like Rupert Murdoch and others control big media venues, and they are able to shun any shows about us. And I want to remind everybody that almost every foreign journalist out there is working somehow directly or indirectly for the CIA. That's really interesting. There's a thing called unofficial cover that foreign journalists acquire when they get their job. And I wouldn't be surprised if people all around the world who are trying to get their word out and walking up to journalists saying, "Hey, why are you Americans so stupid?" or something. I mean, they're saying it all over the world. We're not stupid. We're just not receiving the information you're putting out. So some journalists have actually gone out of their way to reveal what's going on. And this reporter, spilled the beans on his writing of stories about Libya that affected our entire view here in America, what happened in Libya and what Muammar Gaddafi was about. But he's admitting right here in this video I'm going to play you that he's on official cover for the CIA.
Well, I've been a journalist for about 25 years, and I was educated to lie, to betray, and not to tell the truth to the public. But seeing right now, within the last months, how far how the German and American media tries to bring war to the people in Europe, to bring war to Russia. This is a point of no return, and I'm going to stand up and say it is not right what I have done in the past. To manipulate people, to make propaganda against Russia, and it is not right what my colleagues do and have done in the past, because they are bribed to betray the people, not only in Germany, all over Europe.
Okay, Frankie, you have a question? Go ahead. What's the question? No, he's a journalist, and he's called it unofficial cover, and he talked about it, and one of the interviewers asked him from RT, why are you even doing this? Aren't you worried? And listen to his response. It's really sad in a way, but this is how far the problem has gotten and how many people live in fear of losing their job in journalism if they don't do exactly what the CIA tells them to do.
Well, I have had, let me say, 6 times my house was house searched because I was accused by the public prosecutor, the German public prosecutor. I was accused of leaking secrets of states. 6 times house searched. Well, they hoped that I wouldn't do that ever again. But I think it's worse that the truth will come out one day. The truth won't die. And I don't mind what will happen. I've had 3 heart attacks. I have no children. So if they want to bring me to court or to prison, so it's worse for the truth.
Yeah. A very brave man who's willing to step outside the loop of money and fear of job security, all of that. No, he's actually an Englishman, he's a German, excuse me, who was working diligently to, at one point, to call Libya a country that was being run by a despotic leader. He made up the stories about Muammar Gaddafi, and he basically was a tool, and he finally admitted it. Anyway, Libya, by the way, to touch down on that subject, was Muammar Gaddafi was trying to insulate the entire economy from the world currency, the US dollar. So he was creating his own gold currency, and he was relying on his own water supplies. I mean, he was becoming more and more autonomous. You know, Muammar Gaddafi signed a treaty with the US in 2007, fully stating that he would never create a weapons of mass destruction. He appeased the US. He went out of his way. I mean, he was actually stung into doing that by the FBI, but the operatives were, I think it was the CIA that was actually trying to get him into a situation where he was buying illegal material at one point, and then he finally signed a treaty. But he was trying to become independent from the US-dominated world currency, and that was a big, huge slap in the face of the monetary elitists. So we were tasked under Obama to start that war in Libya. Obama was taking his orders from people like Henry Kissinger. I'm sure of it. And the IMF was directing this entire operation. Then they took what they did in Libya, you know, and how they didn't even give him any justice. They hunted him down like an animal, and he was even sodomized with a knife at his death. I mean, the whole thing was insane. You may have liked the fact that he died, and watching him die was a pleasure. But the reality is this was all about money and control of a region that was very, very independent, really. I mean, when the mortgage debacle happened in America, Gaddafi gave all of his citizens $695. Now, you may have liked the death of Gaddafi. That's a mute point. Bear in mind that our country supported Al-Qaeda, and even the former president after Gaddafi was Al-Qaeda. And we basically installed Al-Qaeda in that area. So our country was not only negotiating with terrorists, through the CIA operation, we were actually funding terrorism as a nation. And that led to what we now look at in Syria. So they tried to take that same thing that they did in Libya and then go up and take down Assad using the same type of protocol, right out of the playbook that they used in Libya. I'm just giving you guys a heads up as to what was done then. It didn't work. Putin established his territory again, a former Soviet bloc country of Syria, which more than emphasized Obama's weakness as a president and the fact that he was merely doing the bidding of the World Bank all along. So, David, do you believe in aliens? No, I don't. I do believe that there's life outside of our Earth in the infinite universe. I do believe that, but I don't believe aliens are here. I have yet to see one. If you believe in aliens, that's fine. I'm not judging you. I do commit to the Full Disclosure Project, which I believe is a very good thing. The president will commit to. And as president, I will tell you what is going on that is not top secret information, but what is going on and if it involves aliens, okay? I will tell you that. But I've got to see and touch a real alien. Because with all the technology that's out there now, an alien could be faked. Even a hologram could appear right in front of me and I could say, oh, wow, I'm seeing an alien. Yeah, ladies and gentlemen, I just saw an alien. But I don't believe in them because there's over 5.4 billion camera phones in the world today. And there's not one picture of an alien that's any more credible than this right here. There you are. Oh, sorry. Wrong picture. Wrong alien. Sorry, that was intentional. I have a picture of an alien here. I have many pictures of aliens. I get them all the time. Here's a picture of Bubbles. Bubbles was arrested, by the way. Bubbles, the character actor from Trailer Park Boys, was arrested in Los Angeles recently. And he has been released on bail, a $20,000 bail, but there's people who are now defecting the Trailer Park Boys. Lucy Decotre announced her resignation from the Trailer Park Boys after Mike Smith's arrest. So she's leaving because of allegations that he was involved in domestic violence. Mike Smith, yeah. I don't know if there's any truth to this, but I'm going to say innocent until proven guilty. He denies any misconduct here, so we'll see. But yeah, that's about as close to an alien as I think we've gotten is Mike Smith. No, I'm just kidding. But seriously, we've got pictures of aliens here. Oh yeah. Here's one right here. It's from a 1957 archived KGB file claiming that they interviewed aliens and they had pictures of these things. And you'll notice the eyebrow movement is so natural in this picture. It's just one of the many natural images. So if you believe this is a real alien, I don't really have a problem with that. But in this day and age, it's highly unlikely that with 5.4 billion camera phones, we don't have a picture of it. You have diarrhea of the mouth. Oh my gosh. So your mouth has become your anus? Wow. What are you going to do? Are you going to go to a proctologist or an eye, ear, nose, anus doctor? I mean, how are you going to work that out? All right. The Washington Standard. Don't believe government-involved weather modifications since 1940. Perhaps Senate document will change your mind. There you go. And you're bringing up the Laura Ingraham. Yeah, okay. You look marvelous. Okay, this is an argument that many people have had on weather modification. Yeah, some of you are suffering from an obsession with aliens. Let's change your focus on what's really going on. Weather modification. And by the way, there's a strong conspiracy theory that William Cooper mentioned, the guy who wrote Behold the Pale Horse. He was an excellent conspiracy theorist who died, strange death. But either way, Bill Cooper said that the alien agenda was simply to deflect your attention from what's really going on, which is elitists with extreme high-level technologies, and they're more than willing to do what they have to utilize those. And the alien agenda is just them trying to pretend like, oh, the boogeyman did it. You know, oh, yeah, blame that on the boogeyman. Missing kids, abductions, blame it on the aliens. That kind of thing. Are you getting my drift here? Okay, Dogbone, let's watch this too. Cowbell time, everybody. Okay, so they're basically using cloud seeding. This has been going on for a long time. They're doing this in Abu Dhabi. And yeah, this is something that's going on. So yeah, to say that they don't use cloud maneuver, don't do weather modification is just ridiculous. Of course, they've been doing weather modification since the 1930s and early 40s. There were people that were excellent at seeding clouds. So this technology, folks, is really everywhere. It's ubiquitous. And it's insidious too, because it can actually, they can deliver fumes, they can drop vaccines on us, airborne vaccines, they can stick all kinds of things in our air. So without any oversight by our government, yeah, what are we doing? More cowbell? Okay. Yeah, I think I had some chemtrails outside. I was getting a little bit of redness in my eye here. There, that's better. Okay. Okay, I think we're there. Dead whales showing up on the beaches in Chile or no, Oaxaca. Look at this as Oaxaca. Sí. Oh, no, muy malo. Muy malo. Y sí. No le gusta. Mr. Anderson. Whenever I wear this, people think I'm Mr. Smith of the Matrix. Mr. Anderson, it's the stench, Mr. Anderson. It's the smell of humanity. I will not delete you. Oh, come on, Frankie. Here you believe in aliens, you believe in flat earth crap. Oh, come on, man. Give me a break, man. They're just re-diverting your attention so you don't get politically active, Frankie. I mean, you're more than likely... Now, Frankie's telling me to live my life fullest right now. Well, does that involve actually doing anything or just sitting there living for the moment? I could be a beached whale going, oh, I just want to enjoy more of this fish before I die. I mean, come on. You got to have a purpose, man. You got to have meaning in your life. You got to add a whole new dimension to your purpose in life. Have a principle you live by. Don't just live on the principle that we're all being attacked by aliens and the flat earth is attacking us. Oh. I mean, seriously, get real. You know, I'm telling you to get real. You're living in fear land, man. Relax, baby. It's cool. Yeah, don't freak out about all these things, Frankie. Just, I am doing something. And that is BS, Frankie. I got more people watching me all around the world than you could even imagine. Yes, this mouth of mine is working. Every single night when I talk. Documents show Sanders staffers breached Clinton voter data. Well, that's a lawsuit Clinton could file against Sanders. Sanders is suing the Democratic Party for more money. That image is not kicking in there, Scissor Fight. I'm not sure what's going on, but it's coming up dead. They're going to spend $12.5 billion on drones before the year is up. And every time I click on it... Oh, here we go. Oh, it's working. Good. I got it. It's Meow TV's image. Yeah, that's coming up dead there, Meow TV. I've got that image, Scissor Fight. Thank you. While the world's most expensive drone costs $19 million. Now, we've talked about how expensive the Predator is. And when you lose it, it's really, really bad. I know, 100,000 viewers watching every night. I'm so excited, 692. Guess 692 is here to tell us about that. I started a joke. Oh, come on. I should listen to that. Bee Gees song. And the whole world was listening. I remember that. Yeah, I forget the lyrics, but yeah, you got it. Let's not drone on about drones. The U.S. Army plans to add 29 MQ-9 Reaper drones to its arsenal in the current fiscal year at a cost of about $11.26 million per unit. They will join the 284 Reapers already delivered on a contract calling for a total of 361 units by the end of 2019. Well, this is like the Grim Reaper here. Not only are your tax dollars being wasted on expensive drones, but chances are they'll be shot out in the sky by a heat-seeking missile. I mean, hello? I don't get this. Why would we spend $10 million or $11 million on a drone? On a stinking drone? You can build one in Radio Shack for $1.50. Actually, you can buy them for about $100. You can buy drones at Christmas time. They were blowing them out. $69 for a fully automated drone with a video camera on board. It was amazing. Why isn't Radio Shack one of our military suppliers? Our chat is completely under control. I am using a product I developed called ChatDar. ChatDar eliminates the threat of unnecessary chat crap from moronic trolls. I am a chatbot. Noble Watchman, hello. He was presidential candidate Bernie Sanders. He was a radical. Thank you, Noble Watchman. You know, many people don't know that Bernie was actually out of a job, never worked till he was 40 years old. I mean, it's shocking, but he was just another hippie rummaging through my mom's fridge. I'm growing all over the place, across the globe, because people see what I'm saying as being intelligent, unlike the Democrats, Republicans who never talk about the important things. Remember, I don't want GMOs. I don't want any stinking chemtrails. I don't want war around the world. I want to end the Fed. That's right. All the things that make American people and around the world get up and say, yeah, Dave, we don't want those things either. No forced vaccinations. The Sanders dude is a problem. Yeah, this guy literally was a bum till he was 40 years old. I did most of my working from the age of 17 to 40. That was my big years to work. That retirement came early for me so I could focus on the presidency. Yeah. Okay, we're not talking about alien abductions. Now, folks, I'll just throw it out there. Guest 315 says, David, aliens rape humans at night. Now, don't tell me your memory's been erased of your alien abduction. But have any of you been anally abducted by aliens? Just yes or no? Yes, no? You can answer in the chat room. Feel free. Just another hippie. No. Dude, I'm an international stud. Well, that's because our movie, which is a nightly show now across the nation, is completely unscripted. And we do this live every single night except Sunday, a day of rest. No, we can't support other people here. It's a strict violation of chat etiquette. So nobody's been anally abducted in the chat room, and we're kind of a cross-section of the human population here. So let's just say that anal abductions, that's just some sort of pipe dream. Okay, on a hot night in July 1972, I walked into my family's kitchen to see my mother brandishing a broom at a skinny man who had his head stuck deep inside our refrigerator. You get out, my mom yelled, hitting the man on his skinny ass. Out, out! Under her tan skin, my mother's face was red with indignation. We didn't have much in our fridge, but my mom would fiercely defend it. The man pulled his head out of the fridge, dropping the food on the shelf. His hair was curly. A cherub-full bodied curls framed his startled face. Chagrined, he loped off to the other apartment housed in my family's converted two-room schoolhouse in Huntington, Vermont, the site of a late-night mock-up session for the Vermont Freeman. The alt weekly my parents published, and years later I'd find out that man was Bernie Sanders, rummaging through her refrigerator, getting some free food. So we got a guy who's literally so completely greedy that he wants to hijack this idea of socialism, which is an ancient philosophy and doesn't work, by the way. And he wants to pretend like he's offering something new to the Democrats. All the while he's trying to promise, we've got to get rid of the rich people. I'm telling you, we are going to stop them. And he's promising all the Democrats all this crap about how he's going to stop the rich people without even telling people specifically how to do it. He doesn't say he wants to fire everybody in the SEC. That would involve having some cojones, which is what I will do. Okay? And replace them with watchdog people who really do know what's wrong with Wall Street. And this is a guy who literally is living a double life, because he's suing the Democrats over some lists because he wants more money. Okay? All the while, this guy is driving around in a very expensive car, which is kind of scary. Yeah. I showed you the R8 he was driving. It's a sports car. Yeah. Ladies and gentlemen, you're socialist. You're Democratic Marxist. We lovingly call him the Burnster. Driving in his hot rod. $175,000 Audi R8. Unbelievable. I don't know, man. I mean, it's just like, come on, hypocrisy much? I drive around a little hybrid that I paid $7,500 for, and I'm happy. I don't even want another car. But this guy's not going to cut the power of Wall Street. This guy is not going to stop monopolies. He basically is jelly. He is the substance of worms, manipulated by Hillary into not even questioning her on Benghazi. I mean, what is he trying to do? Is he trying to run for president, or is he trying to maybe get a shoe-in as maybe her vice president and leech off with a corporate tit? Frankie, you're so out of it. I'm already reaching hundreds of thousands of people around the world. Frankie, are you not getting me? I mean, I'm willing to accept your wild, moronic belief that this is a flat earth, okay? But I don't believe it. I'm willing to accept the idea that you have that reptilians are invading the earth, but not one of us have a single picture of one, okay? So you're welcome to come in the room, but you're not welcome to just discredit what we're doing and calling it a perfect couch revolutionist. All right? I'm building a community much larger than something like a couch community. We've got people all around the country and around the world talking about us. So don't denigrate what I'm doing, or I will ban you permanently. Okay, Frankie? Just so you know. Yeah. I don't even entertain the flat earth idea because it's a waste of time. It's obviously coming out of the government-led propaganda machine, and you're too stupid to understand that. How can I dismiss reptilians? I mean, somebody pulled up a picture of me online and then altered it and claimed that I was a reptilian. Yeah, it's just bizarre. I mean, anybody can alter pictures and change the dimension of what they look like. It's not that difficult. Now people are saying I'm a reptilian. That these eyes are... Seriously. They're saying this is my reptilian look. I mean... You know, I was having a bad hair day. I was doing my, and then I was like, I shook my head. It's like, and then they changed the video and they zoomed in and out on the actual video during the. So you change the dimension of my eyes when you do that. Thank you. So you guys who believe in aliens, go right ahead, believe whatever you want. But when Bill Cooper, the former conspiracy theorist, said that it was an alien agenda, he knew for a fact it was. But then that does raise the question, what about the aliens underground in the breeding centers in Dos, New Mexico? I think it was a clone or something. I don't know what that was, Sheriff John Brown. But somebody weirded out on some video and claimed I was some sort of an alien. But a lot of people are talking about the Illuminati. We're talking about the powerful elitists. If you stay on point, we can talk. But claiming, aliens exist is kind of a diversion, guys. If you are of that belief, go right ahead. I have eyewitness accounts from people out there in the field that I can no longer trace anymore. That there's been all kinds of shams pulled over the American people. I have a woman here who's going to say on a camera for you to look at that she was involved, kidnapped as a child, forced into child slavery as leverage against her parents who worked for George W. Bush during 9/11.
I was kidnapped in 1999. During the Clinton administration, my stepdad was the supervisor of logistics. For 2 years, I was tortured prior to 9/11. They killed so many people. There were so many bodies. They trafficked so many drugs, so many weapons.
Okay, so what is your name?
My name is Jasmine Sierra Evans.
Okay, I did a trace on Jasmine Sierra Evans. She's not around. She's gone. 2020 is happening right now. Yeah. We're here right now because we needed the numbers right now, because I've been doing this for, 7 going on 8 years just to get the numbers. Bear in mind, I started a show and people tried to tell me no one's going to listen to me. And I kept saying, well, yeah, there's only 10 people in the room right now when we first started. And then 15 people came in, then 20 people. And somebody said, oh, yeah, you only have 20 people in the room. Nobody cares about you. Then 30 people, then 40 people. And 5 years later, we're going to 80 people, and then 100 people. Now I'm getting 100,000 viewers across the globe. Do you understand what's happening? We are trying to save this nation and prevent it from starting wars around the world. And we're trying to arouse a grassroots growth here on the internet. It's that simple. It's not too difficult to make this happen in your mind. But the elitists, they can't control this, you see. They control everything else. They can buy people. They can threaten them. I got nothing on me. They got nothing on me, and they can't take their money and put it in front of my face because I won't jump. I don't give a crap about money. I'm not materialistic. Never have been and never will be. And believe me, running for president is way more dangerous than just profit-taking as some government official. I could probably work, and locally, if I'd kissed the local government's ass, I could have said, oh, yes, I would love to schmooze the Democratic Republican Party, and we could go on drinking episodes. I don't drink. I could have gone the path of a career politician, but I'm not into money. I'm trying to explain that the reason why I'm doing this is because I believe there are a lot of great ideas here at America's Third Party. We can help you get money. We can help the American people prosper. And we came up with a way that we don't have to fall into the pathway of Marxism. We don't have to collapse into this concept that the collective is better and we should all lose our property rights. We actually formulated a book we call Hybrid Capitalism, which is great. It's out on our website. You can actually read about it and check it out. It's fantastic. It gives you a simple read, under 200 pages, of how to fix the economy. Simply, not in big, huge mega bills. And in fact, one of my ideas is to actually veto any bill over 100 pages as president, forcing Congress to produce smaller, defined bills so that we don't fall into this. I don't have the video of Jasmine Sierra Evans right now, something special. I can't get it right now, but it is available. So Sarah's here, and Hybrid Capitalism was our little brainchild in 2012, which we worked for 2 years to write. But now I'm writing another book myself, which is more of an autobiography. But it really is a template for our nation to kind of fix the country, not just elaborate plans. We're talking common sense solutions to America's problems. That's what we started with when we first started writing it.
It's all about the common sense solutions.
Yeah.
It just makes sense.
Yeah. It has to be easy. So how you feeling tonight?
Okay.
Yeah. She had this weird flu that's been going around. No sore throat.
Chilly.
Yeah, you feel a little chilly. I think you are. Let me get a jacket for you. Let me get my leather jacket and you can put that on.
Yeah. Hello. All right. Yeah, exactly. 873. No, we just have Hybrid Capitalism out right now. Well, I think it's important to be literate so that way you can chat in a chat room and read what other people say in a chat room as well. Yeah. Oh, that feels really good. Thank you.
Yeah, sorry. We're getting fairly warm weather right here, but getting over the flu is not easy. Yeah. It's a weird flu. No sniffles, no sore throat. It just hit with a fever, and then she's got this pressure in her chest. I had the same kind of thing 2 years ago. I'm pretty sure, but it was worse for me. I mean, I felt like I nearly died. Okay, Frankie, I'm just telling you like it is, man. I'm just telling you like it is.
I already have the best person.
I completely open the door to any conspiracy theories on these nights, but I just don't believe the flat earth theory. Partly,
we should educate all illiterates.
Yeah, the work of Galileo and Copernicus, they died fighting for the understanding of the universe. I was researching this information last night about the North Star and the Draco transverse. And there's apparently 3 solar systems around the Milky Way with different suns. When you go way, way out beyond our universe or into the extended infinite universe, And there's so much study has been done on the cosmology of the universe that for you people to believe in a flat Earth is almost absurd. It's beyond absurd. I mean, where do you go from there? But what is this all? Or are we living in a cage with some alien overseer that we're just the insects? I mean, seriously. Pretty out there. But I do support the Full Disclosure Project, Stephen Greer's project, to give the American people the truth about Area 51. So if it really is happening, I'm going to need to see substantive proof, personally, not some hologram. Okay, so Hillary Clinton made a gaffe here, calling about an unborn person comments. Let's see what she said. Democratic primary frontrunner Hillary Clinton ran afoul of both pro-life and pro-choice sides of the abortion debate Sunday when she said constitutional rights do not apply to an unborn person or child. So children are apparently not getting constitutional rights. That's interesting. The unborn person doesn't have constitutional rights. Neither does a child, according to her. All men are created equal? Does that mean women aren't created equal? You know, thanks for coming in, Rodney, but we really don't need your statements during the show. Thank you, though. I'm going to purge you. Yeah, I believe that we're all protected under the all of us, all men are created equal concept. And we all should have constitutional rights protecting us, including children. Thank you for casting and watching the cast. Yes.
Yes, thank you for watching us.
You know, Hillary and her husband, Bill, have this weird relationship. It's strange, but it looks more and more like it's a marriage of convenience. And it'd be remiss of me to not mention that there is a search word structure that look for the words Clinton death count online and to find out all you want to know about the strange and mysterious deaths that have occurred around the Clinton family. Just research it, just looking for that keyword selection, Clinton death count. I'm not saying they were responsible for the deaths. I'm just saying the mystery, it's just unbelievable. There's like 50 people, including the recent death of the former chef for the Clintons, who died a mile and a half off a trail with his face buried in a creek. He drowned in a shallow creek. It's all very weird, very mysterious. And he was the chef that integrated GMOs into the Washington, D.C. Capitol, into the White House. He started cooking with GMOs, and Hillary really likes GMOs, by the way. So does Ted Cruz. Have an eye on me. Thank you. I'll be back.
Yeah, okay.
You don't have to pick up where I left off. You can talk about whatever. The cowbell is fun to talk about.
Well, I was going to go back to someone was talking about literacy.
Oh, literacy,
and
yeah.
The cowbell. Actually, both of them go with what I was going to talk about.
Okay. I'll be back to talk about a thing called the Panama Papers. Yeah, there's world powers, wealthy people. I'm going to be looking into the Panama Papers in just a second.
Panama Papers, huh?
Yeah.
I'll have to see what those are. Oh, politicians, criminals, and the rogue industry that hides their cash. There are an unprecedented leak of 11.5 million files from the database of the world's fourth biggest offshore law firm. Interesting. That'll be very good. So, speaking of illiterates, I watched this, well, they're not illiterate. They're actually striving every day to become as literate and as educated as they can. I watched this very cool documentary on Netflix called On the Way to School. Yes, On the Way to School. And it was about these four different families that send their children to school, and all of the children have at the very least an hour and a half commute walking to school or taking a horse, or it's just unbelievable how much people around the world are willing to do to go to school. One girl walks 4 hours to school. Fortunately, they have her school has dorms so she can stay at the school. So, but she does that every weekend. In order to get to school on Monday, she walks and rides asks for someone to take her. Basically walks and hitchhikes 4 hours just to get to school. That's not a very nice thing to say, 413. I don't see that happening. So I do recommend that documentary to anyone. Yes, I was gonna look at the mongoose population. That's what I was here for earlier. You guys want to see a picture of the mongoose? Alright, it's slightly larger than a weasel. It's able to avert danger more readily than a weasel, and it's able to see oncoming predators with greater ease. Alright. Some species live in the tops of trees. Other species have adapted to living partially in water. Some have fur or ringtails, but it's not the case with every mongoose. Well, does it say that predators? No, it doesn't say it's predators. Okay. I wonder, the mongoose is an omnivore. It's almost immune. They appear to be almost immune to the poison of a snake. The poisonous snakes. Wow. Here's some weird looking ones. I could see them being about the size of cats. Alright, what do they eat? They're omnivores, so they eat both plants and animals. They're weird rodent looking things. Alright, let me look up. I was trying to find mongoose predators. They're known for fighting and eating poisonous snakes. Wow. They're legendary snake eaters. Wow. Their natural enemies are snakes, hawks, jackals, and storks. So we could bring storks into Hawaii as well. Without the mongoose, the snakes will be in control. Ooh, do you want the snakes in control? They have the Samson option terrifies the world. They have every major city in Europe, America, and around the globe targeted. Who's trying to pull the Samson option? That would not be good. Okay. Marabou storks are opportunistic and take a mongoose pup if they are given the opportunity. Mongooses were introduced to the Hawaiian Islands in the 19th century as a method of controlling the rodent population control on sugarcane plantations. However, the descendants of these mongooses now threaten the survival of various native species, particularly birds. Wow. So, you've got to kill the mongooses somehow. Oh, you might be interested in that, but obviously I'm not interested in what you're interested in, because I'm interested in not spraying anticoagulants into the Hawaii, but I'm wondering. Anyway, they're going to spray anticoagulants into Hawaii to help control the mongoose population, just so you know. Go away then. Go away if you're not interested in that. No, I can be interested in something else. I had to do a little bit of research on that. But I'm not interested in, this is not an adult chat room like that. Okay, Panama Papers, big scandal, get with it. All right, the Panama Papers are unprecedented leak of 11.5 million files from the databases of the world's fourth biggest offshore law firm, Mossack Fonseca. And they leaked them. So this is revealing the elite's tax haven. Huge, huge leak. All right, Panamanian law firm Mossack Fonseca. They show how Mossack Fonseca has helped clients launder money, dodge sanctions, and avoid taxes. The company says it's operated beyond reproach for 40 years and has never been charged with a criminal wrongdoing, probably because all the politicians probably hide their money there. Here's a link. All right. French President Hollande hailed the good revelations which would increase tax revenues from those who commit fraud. The documents show 12 current and former heads of states and at least 60 people linked to current or former world leaders in the data. Wow. Including Icelandic Prime Minister Sigmundur David Gunnlaugsson. He had an undeclared interest linked to his wife's wealth. He said he's not going to resign. There's also a suspected billion-dollar money laundering ring involving close associates of Vladimir Putin. One wealthy client is USA millionaire and life coach Mariana Olszewski. She was offered fake ownership records to hide money from the authorities, which is a direct breach of international regulations designed to stop money laundering and tax evasion. Wow. Of course, she did not respond to comment. They also had links to Mubarak, Gaddafi, and Assad. I wonder if there what the Iceland connection. I wonder what other U.S. ones they have. This data, the Panama Papers, is the type of trigger that will cause them to use the Samson option, you think? They will not go down without taking much of the world with them. Well, it's just their money. Oh, right. That's everything to them. Okay, I'll keep an eye on him. How about that? Yeah, well, oh, do you think there's an ideal time for nukes April 16th? Huh. Why would April 16th be an ideal time? I did have a dinner once at the Cheesecake Factory. I am the person that believes in a lethal electric fence along the southern border. And it works on high security prisons. Well, I think that amusement park rides could run on nuclear. I think amusement park rides could run on nuclear energy. Well, no, I don't think that they're going down without a fight, but I don't think that the fight has to be a nuclear weapon. That's what I would say. It is interesting, the Panama Papers. So they were passed to a German newspaper, which shared them on the International Consortium of Investigative Journalists.
So that pierogi and shrimp mix really worked out well.
Yeah, they show how the company has helped clients launder money, dodge sanctions, and evade taxes.
So these are the Panama Papers, 11 million documents held by the Panama-based law firm Mossack Fonseca.
Yes.
Have been passed to a German newspaper, which then shared them with the International Consortium of Investigative Journalists. Wow. Well, I guess we're processing this stuff. Thank you.
I don't know, Grizzly Ray, so I didn't actually make a public comments because I don't know how to curb the mongoose without coagulants other than storks and hawks. But the mongoose are going after the eggs of birds.
Yeah.
And, I mean, they eat all kinds of things. I was going to say just send in cats, but I think that the mongoose would kill the cats.
Yeah,
so.
Mongoose traps are needed. And
mongoose traps.
Lucky for you, I happen to be a big supplier of mongoose trapping.
If you are, it could save Hawaii because otherwise they're going to spray anticoagulants on Hawaii.
On the human population, yeah.
Well, to kill the mongoose.
Well, it'll kill the humans too. It'll affect their bloodstream. I would recommend them not spraying.
It'll take more to kill the humans in the mongoose.
Well, I'll work on a do-it-yourself mongoose trap tonight.
Well, if you could work on an anticoagulant,
no,
like
that's
a procoagulant, I encourage all people in Hawaii to not take vitamin K.
Wow.
Right? Isn't vitamin K isn't it what's a procoagulant?
Procoagulant. Vitamin K is for your intestinal health. It's different. But it does affect coagulation, you're right.
I know.
She knows. And I'm not a scientist or in any way a doctor, and I'm not giving you medical advice, but yes, vitamin K will prevent some coagulation issues. But somebody drinking, coming out of a bar out in Maui going, oh yeah, silly. And then all of a sudden he's outside getting sprayed with anticoagulant. The alcohol is also an anticoagulant. So, I mean, the guy could bleed out just from a nosebleed.
Or maybe that's the other one.
I'm just a little worried about
Actually, no.
easing and bruising, yeah.
Actually, do vitamin K.
Vitamin K, yeah, definitely. Get vitamin K. That's your solution. Okay, let's talk about something other than the mongoose in Hawaii and the spraying of the human population.
Okay, everybody in Hawaii, I was wrong. Look up vitamin K. How about that?
Yes.
Because you might consider wanting to take it.
I would recommend.
Signs of low vitamin K is bleeding and blood in the urine, and
yeah, you're right.
And heavy menstrual periods, which is the idea that it's anticoagulant.
Right. Yeah.
So if they take vitamin K, don't feed vitamin K to the mongoose, though.
Yeah. Don't give any. The North Carolina Villanova game is going on right now. I am not privy to it, so I'm not watching it, but I know a lot of you basketball supporters. I used to watch basketball all the time, but we don't have any cables here, so we just decided not to get cable TV to focus on what we're doing.
If you're going to spray anticoagulants,
hang on a second.
I could type that. No, I'm not going to. Send more cats to Hawaii and vitamin K as well. They better not have vitamin K better not be in coconuts and pineapples though, and sugar cane.
Yeah.
I hope that vitamin K is not naturally in those things, because
I
then
hope not either.
The mongooses won't be killed with the anticoagulants that they spray. Hello.
Excuse me, on the left over here.
Okay, Sarah, I want to show you something.
Individuals.
Now, we've been discussing chemicals being dumped on the whether it's cloud seeding, weather modification.
Or anticoagulants.
This is a leaked Pentagon video of a scientist working for the Pentagon.
With 5 other people.
With 5 or 6 other people, small group, very tight. And they're talking about dumping a virus on the population of people that will affect their ability to be fanatics. So they found an area of the brain. This is how sick this whole thing is. They found an area of the brain that it shrinks when they implement this virus, which lowers the amount of fanatical behavior. Meaning you may get, limit the amount of people who are terrorists, for instance. And the government's actually experimenting with this stuff. Look at this. This is like a huge reveal. I just want to show it to you.
Who are religious fundamentalists, religious fanatics. And this is the expression, RT-PCR, real-time PCR expression of the VMAT2 gene. Over here, we have individuals. So let me complete. So over here, we have individuals who are not particularly fundamentalist, not particularly religious, and you can see there's a much reduced expression of this particular gene, the VMAT2 gene. Another evidence that supports our hypothesis for the development of this approach.
What you see here is by spreading this virus, we're going to eliminate individuals from donning on a bomb vest and going into a market and blowing up the market.
So our hypothesis is that these are fanatical people, that they have overexpression of the VMAT2 gene, and that by vaccinating them against this, we'll eliminate this behavior. So we have some very, very remarkable data in this next slide.
I've heard something like this before.
So the idea is they can vaccinate us and eliminate certain behavior. Like, say they want to get rid of your ability or desire to have children. Push a vaccine that lowers the ability of your brain to actually want sex. I'm serious. I'm not kidding. And with this agenda of depopulation, and Agenda 21 has morphed into depopulation. Believe me, Agenda 21, when it first came out, Sarah was the one that told me it came out from a guy who developed a book called Social Engineering 2.0. And he had good ideas when he first talked about Social Change 2.0, sorry.
Yes.
Social Change 2.0.
Yeah.
And he had good ideas when he first came up with the idea of working together, for all nations to work together. But they have morphed this Agenda 21 into a depopulation plan, biodiversity plan. They're trying to eliminate the population. And that's something to me is just counterintuitive. What species on the planet wants to extinguish themselves? Not even the lemmings openly fly into cliffs and fly off cliffs. Lemmings will do that, but humans literally want to extinguish itself. So instead of fixing the air and the water that we drink, the air we breathe, instead of fixing all the carbon pollution, these elitists have decided they're just going to go ahead and destroy the earth, kill off as many people as possible, and then sort it all out later. And that's your wake-up call as a voter. That's it right there. That they have the audacity to think that they can make viruses that eliminate fanatical behavior and drop them on the American people.
And by the way, they can't create a vaccine to make us stop casting, but you can go and get a vaccine to make you stop watching.
Yeah, really.
Actually, you don't need a vaccine. You can just change the channel. Bye.
Well, to support our population, we have to implement a process called air filtration. And that's not something the elitists want to do because it's too costly. So they're looking at the cheapest possible solution. And we uncovered the scientists that actually gave them the thing that they're using now, the justification they're using now to spray aerosols in the atmosphere. We actually uncovered that entire show. And we play it for people on occasion. I'll play it probably tomorrow night. But David Keith is the guy, if you want to look him up. He's promoting this wild idea that they can dump aerosols in the atmosphere and somehow eliminate the dangerous UVC rays from hitting the planet, they say. Or they're somehow going to levitate carbon into the mesosphere from the ionosphere. I mean, all these wild ideas that he's come up with, they bought hook, line, and sinker because he added, oh, by the way, it's incredibly cheap to do this. It's ridiculously cheap. Bing, bingo. That's the number they're looking for. Cheap. The elitists are elitists because they're cheap. That's why they're rich, because they screw people over, they exploit people. They're the 1%ers, like Donald Trump and Hillary Clinton. They don't mind exploiting people. That's what they do. So when they talk about depopulation, it's because they're too cheap to fix the problem they created in order to become wealthy. Now, admittedly, we enjoy the benefits of globalization and all the cheap products in the market, but we're bearing a certain responsibility. But these people are profiting left and right from the excesses and ravages of the earth that we live on and our human environment. It's really sad. So we need a better choice, and air filtration is the way to go. And that's what I'm here to talk about on tomorrow night, Wasteful Wednesday. I'll be talking about filtering the air. We'll be talking about how we're going to create, there's a scientist that actually wants to create large filtration systems in the mountain ranges so that we can take the carbon down and implant an ozone layer to replace the one that we're taking out right now. So a whole different shift in American politics has to occur in order for these elitists to be pulled out of the scenario, and this chemtrailing has to stop, the war has to stop, the private central bank, the Fed, has to stop, and these forced vaccinations of people unnecessarily has to stop.
I don't necessarily believe there is a population problem, 895. I believe that we've been indoctrinated to believe that there's a population problem. That all started with a book. I believe it was Limits to Growth or something like that. It was
yeah, Limits to Growth. That was the name of it.
I forgot what society or club it was, but that idea that our world can't support the population that we have is kind of not true. I mean,
it's a distribution problem.
It might be a distribution problem, but the truth is, if the world couldn't support the population would not be here. Its natural selection would happen, wouldn't you? I mean, that's logical thinking. In fact, I believe that they're with more effective distribution and with more effective use of the resources that we have available, right, we can actually produce even more and could sustain a higher population, yeah, if we so choose. But the Club of Rome, that was who originated this propaganda, which was only a theory. They believed in this theory, and it became this belief that is now a self-prophecy, or it's not self-fulfilling, but it's like people can't break away from the concept that the Club of Rome came up with, that we only have certain resources on our planet, etc. I mean, we have so much on our planet.
Yeah.
I mean, it's unbelievable. I was just watching, like I said earlier, I was watching this video called On the Way to School, and these kids like travel, some of them walk and hitchhike 4 hours just to go to school.
It's unbelievable the suffering going on just to go to school. They
But
hitchhike
that
4
shows
hours.
me that there's so much land and
Mhm.
so much potential and so much resources available in the world
Mhm.
that we can support a population. And there are people, there's another documentary I watched called Living on $1 a day. And that shows me, I mean, it's possible for people to actually survive. Maybe they're not thriving completely, but they're able to survive on a lot less than we might think. So I really think that we have to stop believing all of the propaganda that we're fed.
Yeah.
I bought into the propaganda when I was younger, and also if you guys there's people said there's too much population growth, and so how do you control population growth? You shouldn't go out and hurt people to get rid of the population.
And in the year 2525, if man is still alive.
Well, Oceans 634, can support more life, and we can grow more
Let's start.
worms.
I'm going to share with everybody my idea, your idea that we came up with in 2005. It's a simple idea, really. It's a bulletproof plan to create water desalination across the globe. And we start here in America, in California. We build the Ocean Pipeline Project, which involves thousands of these individual modules connected together, all desalinating seawater near the ocean. Now, there's so many places around the globe that's near saltwater, and saltwater comprises 72% of the Earth's surface. So we really are just dealing with freshwater issues. The more fresh water, the more food production, the more livestock production, the more manure produced, the better the soil is, the more it produces fruit, the more it produces vegetables. But instead, we're allowing chemical fertilizers to destroy our earth, preventing it from growing nutritious food. We're allowing chemtrails to destroy the skies and ultimately create a drought in California, because this is the plan the elitists have, to buy cheap property in California, buy up the water rights. We already know the Rothschilds made a major purchase in Sonoma County in their water rights. The Rockefellers and Rothschilds are working together to do that. So they are literally trying to contaminate the earth, dehydrate the earth, make it so that we're all starving. That's their game plan. So somehow that justifies the big population problem. But in fact, if we produce ocean pipelines and put them all together to matrix formation along the oceans themselves, we connect the dots. This thing is a process that will be completely immune to the weather. And aquaponics for the win. Yeah, we're talking fisheries, shrimperies.
You can take pig manure and incorporate earthworms, and then you have earthworm castings, which are good.
Wrong. We have no grain reserves whatsoever in America anymore.
They were all shipped to other countries.
Yeah, we are out. We are completely bone dry. And under Obama, he completely wiped out all of our potential food stash for regional supplies. FEMA hasn't developed any regional supplies for food. They were asked about this in 2008, and the director of Homeland Security Initiative said, no, we're not going to be able to do that. FEMA is operating on a separate budget, and There's a lot of problems with the entire funding for FEMA now, especially after Katrina. So they completely cut back. And as you know, right around Obama taking office, Department of Homeland Security fused with FEMA. So they're one and the same now. So FEMA is becoming the vestibule of military takeover as opposed to regional food supplies. I want the opposite. I want regional food supplies at every FEMA center. I want no fencing around any of the northern FEMA encampments that they have. No fencing. Fencing looks to me like an incarceration plan or some sort of a concentration camp like Hitler had. I want that removed. We've got to set certain things in motion to protect the human population against its own government if necessary. We have a contingency not only to protect the people with the government, but we should have a contingency to protect the people from the government as well. And that means regional food supplies. Okay? So look, I've got a lot of great ideas, like the Ocean Pipeline project Sarah and I have worked on, that if, as president, I implement them on a small scale, we'll see if they work. This unit right here will generate 3 to 10 gallons of water a day, depending on what we use. If we incorporate graphene or some sort of fiber that is microscopic or nanoparticle fiber, like graphene, we will be able to desalinate maybe as much as 10 to 15 gallons of salt water into fresh water a day, which is more than enough for a family of 3 or 4 families of 4 to live on per day. So all of these pipeline projects could be working independently and last up to 40 years. They bring water in from the ocean using renewable energy solutions like solar and wind powered water pumps. And we move them from vessel to vessel using the same technology. It's all completely industrial, bulletproof, literally. We made it a polycarbonate material that will almost be shatterproof. So it'll withstand the test of time. It'll last up to 50 years. I'm not going to say bulletproof, but you get my drift. But any of these ideas are things that we need to get behind that do not involve venture capitalists, profiteering. That's where the money and the water and all the mineral rights, everything is all interconnected, and that's why the government's screwed up. We continue to let cheap prostitute congressmen and women literally sell our country off cheap to the lowest bidder. And, you know, when they take our property rights like they did to Lavoy Finicum and his grazing rights and killed him, ambushed him down in Oregon, they're just trying to open up territory so that these cheap profiteering people, literally, you can buy a senator's vote for next to nothing, apparently. There are all kinds of ways out there to pad their pockets. They're getting this for next to nothing. And foreign companies are mining our nation for as low as $5 an acre, poisoning our nation's aquifers with gold, contaminating cyanide used in the process of getting gold out of the old gold mines, literally is being leached into our water system and causing our nation to be polluted. It's endless. Yeah, here's a story from ABC News about surplus foods drying up. Look at this. I mean, this is happening right now. Yeah, so our government's not doing a damn thing to prevent this from happening. And Grizzly Ray still believes that Rob Ford was murdered. And do you guys have evidence that he was actually going to have a press release and talk about something a day after he was found dead? He had evidence the mayor did crack? Okay. Thanks. I didn't know that. Yeah. Frankie, you've got a very, very good self-sealing premise. It's that aliens have no reason to reveal their existence, so they're very careful to be hidden under small nooks and crannies. So when you look at your closet at night, or maybe your light socket, Frankie, do you think maybe an alien could pop out of there, an orb, and watch you while you're sleeping? I've met people that believe that they've seen aliens. And of course, I was going to mention that Phil Schneider actually claimed he saw aliens and fought them back in 1977 in the Dulce, New Mexico area. I mean, very interesting testimony. I'm not discounting that. And believe me, I'm not here to say, I just have yet to see any real proof myself. Okay?
If you want your jacket.
Yeah, I'll take it. Thank you. Thanks for coming in. I know you haven't felt well, but this is very nice of you to. Thank you so much, Sarah. Take it easy. Yeah, turn the heater on for sure. At night is when the flu starts to settle back in, when you guys are fighting the flu. Yeah, so you're looking under your bed for aliens? That's nice. So some of you really believe they're underneath your bed while you're sleeping? Okay. All right, well, whatever you want to do, whatever gets you through the night is all right. All right, Head Corners. Yeah, we're just getting started, man. I've got hundreds of thousands of viewers now. Despite your attack campaign, it didn't work. I've got a lot of people that believe that our country is in dire need of a new voice, and I'm more than willing to be that voice and open the discussion to a lot of other people on a nightly basis. We want to have a chat room in the Oval Office every night for the American people. At least 1 hour a night, even if I'm being transported to another location. Connectivity, communication, transparency, the things you wanted from Obama, that's what I want to deliver on. And yes, I will commit to the full disclosure project if indeed we do find aliens. Okay, Villanova has won the NCAA men's basketball championship. 77-74, not a very high scoring game over North Carolina. That's about standard for the NCAA, though. They usually don't get close to 100 points like they do in the pro games. No, I actually had a good bowel movement, so thank you for asking. I have to put up with this crap every night. It's just unbelievable. No, pass the straitjacket to somebody who believes that the flat earth is happening and aliens are invading, okay? You can't pin that one on me, buddy. Yeah, I'm not the guy. I haven't played my song to, get me going tonight, so I want to get more into the musical aspect of our show. I think that's important to just touch down on some music during our show. So if some of you like our theme song, Can't Stop, you will enjoy the show, because that's what we do nightly now. Because we can't stop, and we won't stop. We're going to keep on doing this, whether you like it or not.
We can't stop and we won't stop. We're gonna dance all night, bring it on to the sunlight. We can't stop, we can't stop. We can't stop, we can't stop. We can't stop and we won't stop. We're gonna dance all night, bring it on to the sunlight. We can't stop, we can't stop.
So let's be clear. In this coming election year, please vote for David Sponheim. America's the party.
Sponheim for president. We can't stop, we can't stop, we can't stop, and we won't stop. We're gonna dance all night, bring it on to the sunlight. We can't stop, we can't stop.
In this coming election year, please vote for David Sponheim. America's the party.
All right, that was fun. Yeah. So what do you think of that leaked video about this guy, Pentagon leaked video here, Pentagon, of a top-level geoengineer and vaccine expert talking about dumping vaccines, or excuse me, viruses that actually can cause you to be less obsessive, less of an extremist. Isn't that weird? Yeah. It's like they literally are planning on dropping chemicals or viruses on people to make them neutralized. And we've also heard from a NASA scientist that they actually want to dump lithium, and they do this all the time, on the population, and they think it's no big deal. Here's a NASA, what is now a former NASA Goddard Space Center guy.
Right, there was lithium dispersed, and I'll be happy to talk to you about it. I think you might be under some misconceptions about what we're doing, but I'm happy to tell you any details needed.
Well, I know that it says in your article that you're doing it for communications.
Okay, I'm happy to talk to you more about it. There are many reasons we're doing it.
Okay.
We don't understand how the wind in the upper atmosphere moves. In these chemtrails, there's different kinds of chemtrails, as you probably know. Different trails at night we use, different trails during the day. The wind blows them around. They glow either on their own or from scattered sunlight. We take pictures and we can see how the wind trail moves around.
Oh, good. Well, thank you for sharing. Yeah, so I'm a little bit upset that they're even doing this. I don't know about you, but you might not even concern yourself. Do you realize your record, even as a child, can stop you? Oh, I get you. Okay. David, do you realize your record, even as a child, can stop you? Yes, of course I realize that. Yes, I do. That's why I don't have any marks on my record. I have a great record. The best record ever. I've never done a criminal act. I've never violated the law in my entire life. Honesty is my 100% policy. I don't lie. I don't cheat. I don't steal. As a child, I was an exceptional student, so much so that I was advanced. I skipped 7th grade. Went on to take college calculus when I was 15, the calculus AP exam, and scored a top score in the most difficult calculus exam provided for advanced placement. Went on to college while I was studying in high school and proceeded with a strong 4.0 background that literally carried me all the way to my first year in college, when I encountered nothing but Marxists. And my college record shows that I argued with all my Marxist professors, even went to meet with them. Directors of the departments met with me. I argued with them, claiming they were forcing Marxism down our throats, and I would be against that. And they said, well, if you don't like it, just leave. So I left. I didn't continue my education because I felt that it was complete and utter indoctrination. There's no reason why anyone should suffer that. So I'm a free thinker. I'm an individual. I strongly support your freedom and your individual rights over all federalism that you're going to be listening to from Bernie and Hillary and Donald. I don't want an enlarged police state. I want less police. I certainly want to make sure that the brutality stops, and I'll be pushing an executive order that will force cities to comply or they won't receive any federal funding. We won't give them federal funding if they're going to hire brutal cops that beat up people and kill people. It's that simple. I was a genius. I am a genius. Now, last night when I was studying the constellations above us, I realized that this study of this infinite universe has been going on for centuries. And I ran across some interesting studies on what is called the Draco Transverse. And it's really the North Star that is seemingly a fixture in space only because it is, by and large, so far away that it seems completely fixed in time and space. But our universe is an infinite universe, and some astronomers believe that that's not true, that in fact there's multiple universes. But we could sit here and differ on these issues till the cows come home. I mean, literally. We could be philosophating about this stuff all night long, but it's not going to, solve the world's problems. And I'm obviously not going to solve the world's problems solely by talking on the internet. Please don't talk about Donald. He's taken 6 of my ideas And he seems to not even pay tribute to the work that I've done. It's really sad. So please don't talk about him here. Thank you. I'm pretty smart. No question about it. Yeah. No, don't support him here. Yeah. This will be your last time in the show if you keep this up. Thank you. You know, community sift filter is scary stuff. Yeah. It's probably one of the weirdest things ever in the history of sifting filters. David, number one issue is energy? No, it's not. The number one issue, no, energy was never a number one issue. Number one, have you checked the price of gold, of oil right now? The number one issue is freedom. That's the number one issue. You know, the idea of putting an innovative chat filter in place with effective modification tools, filtering chat text messages is no different than any other control mechanism a censor uses on the mainstream media. So I'm not exactly in favor of limiting free speech here. Yeah. But I do purge people for saying demoralizing things about us, particularly. That's about it. But the number one issue is not energy at all. The number one issue is freedom. Our freedom of speech is being suppressed. We're not going to come up with any good conclusions because we're not getting your input. The American government isn't listening to a damn thing anyone is saying, except, of course, the NSA. They're listening to everything we're saying. They certainly don't want to stop their endless connection to drug dealers and the black market money that the government's been living off of. CIA operates off of a budget coming from heroin sales in Afghanistan. But when you look at energy, there have been so many great advances, guys, in energy, that this has got to be the biggest conspiracy of all. This is just a single list of all the amazing locomotion energy systems, super technology, and carburetors that have been created over the past few hundred years. I'll give you a link to this so you can check it yourself and read it at your leisure, but we're talking about just an unbelievable list. Water to gas conversion powder, burn water, gas water mix, water and alcohol motors. These are engines that could run extremely efficiently and get much more use of our energy. Energy could have been a lot cheaper if we had gotten a political alternative through freedom. But we haven't had a political alternative. We haven't been able to get these oil and coal lobbies accountable. They still control the industry, and they still suppress inventions like the ones I'm showing you. Super mileage from fuel vaporization was achieved in 1920 by L. Mill Beam. I mean, this is how far back this stuff goes. They were getting 100 miles per gallon, 115 miles per gallon out of an 8-cylinder Buick using vaporization. This has been, we have purposely water to hydrogen tests. I mean, this goes on and on and on and on. It's just unreal. There's been engine after engine after engine, so it's not energy. I'd like to say energy is a problem, but it's not a problem. Zero-point energy solutions, look at how many inventions have been suppressed. Zero-point energy solutions have been around a long time, but the powers that be and the lack of freedom suppressed all of these great ideas. Consequently, you are paying top dollar for your energy and have been over the past few years. Every year you're paying record dollars for your energy, except of course the cost of gas. That's gone down quite a bit. So that's the link. You really want to check it out. It's really good reading. Thank you for admiring me being on point. Appreciate it. Okay, this happened yesterday. Tepex State, or Tepex State. A lot of earthquakes and volcanic activity down in Mexico. See, I am not high. See, look at this. A volcano is erupting. You know, my sister's down there in Mexico. I'm a little worried about her. She's right near a volcano. I warned her about her before she went in there. I'm a little worried that, you know, she's just not
El
totally
volcán
sick.
Popocatépetl en el centro de México.
Centro de México.
Desde ayer por la noche.
Del por la noche.
Prevención de Desastres, Senapred, informó que en las últimas 24 horas se han producido 96 exhalaciones y 5 explosiones.
Sí, muy explosiones. Hey, you know, I'm not speak Spanish. I can listen a little bit and understand quite a bit, but this is real. The Earth is reacting. Now, if we think we can just pollute recklessly and these elitists are dumping chemicals everywhere now, it's really crazy. We've never had, like I said, so much water in our area due to the chemical sprays going on where we are. Our forest is molting right now. And I've never seen as many pine cones as I've got right now. And it's like the trees are weeping. There's somehow, they put out like a survival thing where they produce more pine cones and more of the pollen. And I just like the whole area, it's just everywhere. The pollen's just flying. The Earth is reacting. And who knows, maybe what we do to the chemical atmosphere and the mesosphere and the magnetosphere affects the sun. Because remember, these two huge bodies are interconnected. No, Connie, you didn't see her at all. I have a video of Connie. She just sent me a 2-minute video talking about what a great guy I am. Because I had people coming in here claiming that my sister was saying bad things about me. She totally recanted any of that. And I played this for you earlier. I'll give you a little taste of it right now. It's just her speaking out on my behalf. And I asked her to do this because I'm getting a lot of people calling me, and it's some sort of a whack job. It's ridiculous.
Hello, it's April 1st, 2016, and this is Connie Sponheim, sister to David Sponheim, who is of America's Third Party. He and Sarah are working together to put him on the ballot. And I'd like you to write him in. This film is to redact anything I may have said years ago when I had an interview with a gentleman from the Midwest, and I don't quite recall what I said, but I may have been a little upset at my brother at the time, and that was long ago. He's a very rational, very logical, good guy, caring man, full of ideas. I really respect him, and I hope that you write him in because he's a good candidate for the job. And
okay, now this is a fan running in the background. There's no CGI. This is my sister. She's in a place in Mexico. She's enjoying a wonderful world travel right now, doing lots of things. And I think that's great that she's out there. But I mean, I literally had to email her and say, hey, you know, I'm getting people say things about something you may have said a long time ago. And she went ahead and did that for me. Wasn't that nice of her? Yeah. She's totally being sincere. Yeah. My sister is a living example of how you can stay young in spirit and in body for many, many years. And she's truly doing what I think her spirit is asking her to do, which is to travel and see the world. In a way, it's easy to be envious of that, but I personally don't like traveling, so I would travel as president, but only under necessary circumstances. It's not like I'd be traveling around parading around the world like Obama, because he's literally wasting time left and right that he could be saving America. He started wasting time as soon as he became president. As soon as he became president, he had this idea that he was going to be running again. And he started running again, Obama did. As soon as he got the selection process gave him this presidency. I don't think Obama is what he says he is. I will do everything I can that literally will repeal all of the things and nullify all the mistakes Barack Obama made. And Trump isn't offering what I'm offering. Trump didn't even pick up the birther issue until 4 years after I had picked it up in 2008. It was basically part of our campaign in 2008, the birther issue. But I really believe it's the source of what will be ultimately a reversal of most of Obama's mistakes. I believe that we'll be able to simply process him for fraud for his birth certificate, because a simple scrutiny of his birth certificate by scientists under my direction will completely mark him as the perpetrator of what appears to be an elaborate scheme to get elected, where he was indeed born in Mombasa, Kenya, and documents can prove that. This guy has avoided the scrutiny of scientific exposure on that birth certificate. Now, I have an interview on record on our show. Our old site has that link to Blog Talk Radio. But I had an interview with Doug Vogt, the renowned world document expert who builds scanners here in Washington. He's an expert on documents. He said that the birth certificate is clearly a sign of a mixture of halftones and binary figures combined, which shows multiple Photoshop efforts were engaged in. Multiple layers were done in order to document his birth in Honolulu, which is a complete forgery. So we can reverse everything he said, and then it gives Congress 6 weeks to reinstate Obamacare, and under a Republican-led Congress, I'm sure Obamacare will not pass again. I'm positive. We can also go forward with the Keystone Pipeline in 2017. My theory has not been true at all. No, Trump has not proven any of my theories. No. Trump is merely using my ideas to propel himself, as opposed to my ideas standing on their own merit, which clearly he didn't even understand when he copied me on the 10,000 or on the 1,000-mile fence. He wanted to build a wall, a 1,000-mile, and he wanted Mexico to pay for it. The man absolutely doesn't know what he's doing. So having a person who doesn't have the original ideas themselves is like having some margarine and claiming it's as good as butter. I mean, it's like eating turpentine. He apparently is something of an actor, and I believe he's connected. I believe he's part of the New World Order, the very thing I'm against. So yeah, it hurts me to see somebody trying to pirate everything we're doing and pretend like they're his ideas. It's ridiculous, and having been censored for now 7 going on 8 years puts me in a good position for the 2016 election, actually. What could happen in this upcoming election is Donald Trump could get pushed out of the Republican Party. He then is in my area. But unlike me, he can't run in some states like Pennsylvania because he's already run in the primary. Some states will not allow you to run in the general if you've already run in the primary and don't win the nomination. So there's state law against him. I actually am in a better position to win a write-in candidacy than he is, if he indeed gets kicked out of the Republican Party, which I predict he will be. Republicans don't like him. Even the fiscal conservatives don't like him. The Tea Party doesn't like him. He doesn't address the issues of the Fed. He's hiding from the issue of 9/11 being possibly an inside job. I mean, he's clearly on the inside of that inside job, just living in New York and being close friends with Mayor Giuliani, a man who didn't even give air masks to any of the first responders, leading to over 50,000 people having to collect endless supplies of money from the government just to get breathing apparatuses in their home. The Zadroga Act is $4 to $7 billion of U.S. tax money gone in to cover Giuliani's mistake. So yeah, Trump has made big friends in the network of cronies in the New World Order. So believe me, this is a Zionist-led New World Order that we've got to stop. The American voter has to stand up. Now, if you fell for the Trump scam, once he turned to AIPAC looking for money, you must have known that he was on the take. Many of you are going, I can't believe he's sucking up to the power of the American-Israeli Political Action Committee, the same people that funded Obama and Clinton. And Bush. Yeah, that's part of the problem. So yeah, please start redirecting your vote to me. Thank you. But this has been a really good boost from the global viewing population. I really appreciate what you guys are doing, because raising the bar of awareness around the globe is just the beginning. And this is exactly what I had anticipated when I put together that viral video that literally was suppressed in the U.S. big time. I've been literally shut down. My hit counter locks are shut down on these things. But when I did the impersonation video of Barack Obama, I knew it was a big risk, but it's paying off in spades. No pun intended. Many people don't understand around the world why somebody should be suppressed from freedom of speech in America, claiming to be freedom of speech. You know, it's absurd that I would not do an impersonation video of Barack Obama, being he's the worst president we've ever had. I mean, how could anyone tell me that I couldn't do blackface? But the Democrats did. And that shows you how completely moronic the Democratic Party is. They've lost touch with what this country stands for. It's paying off in spades, yeah. This country was predicated on freedom of speech. My family moved over here from the 1600s because England was suppressing our freedom of speech. And in no way am I going to shut down Muslims' right to pursue their religion. I would never do what Trump wants to do, IDing Muslims. That's crazy. This is the land of the free, home of the brave. And America is great. We don't need to be told we're not great by somebody who's inherited all his money. Good jam, man. It's good, man. You got the groove, you got the groove, yeah. Tonight we're gonna have fun. Tonight we're gonna have fun. I got the groove, I got to move, I got the groove, yeah. I got the groove, I got to move, I got the groove, yeah. That's pretty good, man. I like that. That was really good. You got the groove. It's funky time. Get down on it. So we got a president who met with Raul Castro, and apparently Raul is showing what a strong man he is. Being he's an older man, he's carrying the lightweight, flim-flam president we've got, Mr. Poster Child for hypocrisy and uselessness, the Barack Obama lame duck president hand movement, the limp wrist move, tangoing in Cuba. Some people believe that they're trying to allow Cuba to become more of a trading partner so they can invade us from Russia. It's like, really? And there's a whole theory, a conspiracy theory out there that Russia is planning on a big, huge invasion through the southern border. That's probably one of the reasons why I've been talking about a 1,000-mile fence for 8 years now. But a wall that Mexico's going to pay for? Donald, what are you smoking? I mean, I know you say you haven't smoked marijuana, but literally, what are you smoking, buddy? Yeah. Mexico is not going to pay for the effing wall. That's what former President Vicente Fox said. And the current president said it as well. What was Obama going there for? I mean, the whole thing is ridiculous. He spends more time schmoozing with politicians that don't really matter to our nation. You know, obviously, forging a trade deal with Cuba may have helped Barack Obama bring 300 Cuban cigars home, which I know he wanted to smoke at the White House. This guy's partying, guys. He is literally partying in the Oval Office. I'm not kidding you. He started making beer in the Oval Office, and he hasn't really stopped. He and Michelle, or whatever you want to call him, they have parties every Wednesday night. But around the world, he's being snubbed.
Have good relations with both leaders of Russia. That goes without saying. President Putin, or former President Putin, now Prime Minister, is considered by many to still be the major string puller, if I could put it that way, in Russia.
Yeah. So they don't even want to shake his hand in Russia. He's screwed up relations with Russia pretty bad. I'm amazed that Putin is working around the details of our presence and the rebel support we've given, $662 million to rebels in Syria. It's amazing. But Obama has actually grown. He's actually creating his own beer in the White House, and he doesn't even want to share it. You can't go out there and buy a six-pack of beer. You can't. He doesn't even want to generate money to bring back to the White House. I will at least keep the beer operation going, and we will make one incredible blueberry Hefeweizen. I don't drink beer, but I'm sure it'll be tasty.
We are in the White House kitchen, and we are very excited because we are brewing our second round of White House beer. This round we're actually brewing another honey ale, and
so we're going to convert their brewing operation. We're going to fire these guys. They make too much money, and we'll go down to a real scaled down cost. We're going to sell the 6-packs for $25. Collector's item White House 6-packs to finance the operation of the White House budget. That's how I get it done. That's called looping capital. That's exactly what I'm talking about. Getting money to come back to the government without having to charge you, the taxpayer. Now, we're paying for his brewing operation. For him to stand around and go, well, he's making some decisions, it's true. Well, let's be clear. Could I have a light beer and 2 dark beers? So he's getting looped at the White House, but we're not getting any benefit. Our country's still wasting money. When he went down to wherever he honeymooned recently, or wherever the hell he and Michael go, they cost $3.5 million just for the plane fare alone. Well, let's be clear. Trump, however, he's worse. He would spend more money he would make Barack Obama look like a real tightwad. And Obama's already spent $8 trillion over budget. Trump is all about borrowing money. Trump borrowed his money just to get to where he thinks he is at, to get his supposed $10 billion in net worth. Yeah. I'll do whatever I have to do to sell the bottles, sure. Making sure that they provide money back to the government. I can't possibly run the White House like he ran the White House into the ground. We'll probably have to spray all the walls in the Oval Office because they're all tainted. No doubt. I mean, let's be clear. Well, let's be unclear. Well, remembered as a cool president, the Miles Davis of politics. I'm sorry, but he's more like the... I don't even know who we'd be compared to at this point. We need innovation. We need a president with ideas. You Democrats thought that he had ideas. You thought that somehow he was coming up with new solutions, when in fact he was merely borrowing from everywhere else. I've got an idea center right here in the Oval Office. We'll be able to interact with you and share your ideas, and you'll be able to bring good ideas to the forefront. Young people will contribute. Our nightly chat show will be completely monitored by experts in their field, trying to pick up from where the pulse of the American people are at. You like that, Democrats? Yeah. Well, I was a Democrat for 30 years. I don't mind saying it. The Ramones. Really? Give me my Steel Reserve. No kidding. The Ramones. I met Eddie Ramone. Yeah, I dropped T-shirts off for the Ramones. I used to do their T-shirts in Hollywood. Are you talking about Eddie Ramone? Yeah. I remember knocking on the door of his motel room at 12:30 in the afternoon. Dukes of the Tropicana, that's where he was staying. I knocked on the door and Eddie Ramone opened the door. He's like, I said, yeah, I got your shirts here. It was incredible. Yeah, Mongoose is really, the whole thing about using anticoagulants on a human population in Hawaii is really scary. Okay, we got a competition of various signs in the upcoming election. This is hilarious. Somebody said, I'm going with pine straw. Yeah, that's pretty good. All right, whatever pine straw is. The American people are willing to look at anybody different now. So when Donald Trump gets kicked out of the Republican Party, he'll be a write-in candidate just like me. And he'll pretend like he's starting a third party, and it'll eventually cause a stir in the media, and they'll say, wait a second, this guy is getting all kinds of hits from all around the world. Let's give this guy a chance, and I'll be finally getting the 1 minute of media time I deserve after 7 years trying to do this. It's amazing. I'm not trying to hypnotize you. But doing a radically different video like the blackface video was not something I knew was going to be easy to deal with. And the aftermath of doing this is going to be me expressing what freedom of speech is and how I've never said a racial slur in my life. And it was merely an impersonation video of Barack Obama. It's not that hard to walk away from that, realizing that I'm not in any way going to punish people of different backgrounds and races. In fact, we're going to try to provide more opportunity for people who are economically deprived, regardless of your color or your race. All right? Thank you. Oh, is pine needles used in gardening? Okay, thank you. I had no idea. Pine straw. I thought that was the guys that are running for office right there. Well, you can vote for whatever party you want, but just realize your two-party vote is a wasted vote. Yeah, I'll never forget Eddie Ramon. He was like, had his pants, he had his, the whole rock and roll thing. And he was like barely able to open his eyes. And he says, yeah, there's a storage area outside by the restaurant. So he carried me out there, opened up the storage unit, I put the t-shirts there, and I said, okay, thanks. That's all I ever said to Eddie Ramon. But I think I did try to say, yeah, this is a pretty cool hotel, but he wasn't into talking, Poor Eddie Ramon. He passed away, as you know. Okay, let's see what we got here. Good. I'm glad nothing's happening. So we talked about the influence that cash has over politics. We know for a fact that there's been a massive inequality in America, separation of wealth. We talked about how Bernie is living in a parallel universe of some sort where he drives an incredibly fast car and lives on this belief that he's somehow going to help the poor people at the expense of the taxpayers. I didn't want to forget this. I mean, it just says it all, really. It's a $175,000 Audi R8. And it literally is of no value to me because I would never drive a car like that. It shows me that this guy is a total hypocrite. Yeah, we did dance to the Can't Stop video audio, whatever. And tonight I'll be uploading this production to YouTube a little later tonight because we were having a real problem getting it to run. I'm going to have to really kind of fix this tonight, troubleshoot it. I did a Trump impersonation. I just can't do his voice. I don't want to do his voice. There's something about him that really pisses me off. I usually can do any voice, but Trump's voice I really have a problem struggling to get to. And it's not something I want to do. But why even draw attention to Trump at this point? People are just turning away from him like crazy. His recent gaffe about wanting to increase nuclear weapon arsenals and then saying he's willing to attack Europe with a nuclear bomb. I mean, people are going, what the hell is this guy talking about? He doesn't understand policy. He doesn't even understand what our country's about. He really doesn't. Trying to overturn our Constitution by claiming he wants to ID Muslims. Going against the equal protection under the law clause. Going against the First Amendment, the freedom of speech to pursue any religion. I'm freezing. Well, I don't know why, but I am going to be broadcasting a different wave. We're not sure. Let me do a stress test on this computer. Hang on. Let me do it in the middle of the show so I know what my resources are doing. Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and check that out right now just to see where I'm at. Because while broadcasting on two networks, I'm still having breakups and lag, which is ridiculous. No, I did not hear about the latest development on the Gulen schools. I'm not wearing a wig. I know that the Gulen schools are implicated in a lot of potential terrorist growth areas. We're not really sure what their outcome will be, but we do know that they may have been funded by CIA operatives. It's good where you are. In some areas, they're not coming in. It's weird. The must be the trunk lines out of Vaughn. If you are experiencing any lag on our show, simply go to americasthirdparty.com, which has everything on it, including our old site. If you click the old site button, you can get there now after our major hack that happened around January 1st. We were totally hacked. Our website was shut down for about 5 days. Yes, once Trump enters the write-in area, once he gets kicked out of the Republican Party, he's a write-in candidate too, which makes me a potential media event. Once I can get enough media attention, we have more than 99% of our population that can spell my name. People just have to realize that their vote counts just as much if they write in my name as if I was on the ballot. And that's something that's a very powerful bit of information. And it can spread virally among the people through word of mouth. But we do need media time. I need to get some mainstream media attention. I've had none. So, no, blackface actually is helping me. Like I said, I'm being seen across the world now. But many people are beginning to wake up to what I was doing in 2008. I'm the only guy with the balls to impersonate a black president. Okay, apparently. There have been other people that have done it, but I have to brush my hair. Will I have a little hair loose up here? Thanks. This is not a wig, man. This is my real hair. Yeah, you can pull on it. It tugs. You can see the tugging. Those are my follicles pulling. Yeah. I would like to pay for ads on TV, guys, but again, it would be impossible. I've gotten no donations. I don't even think we've had a donation this quarter. We're not sure if we've gotten one. So it's amazing. I've got an upload speed of 9.8 megabytes per second. It's not on my end, I assure you. I've got a download speed of 50 megabytes per second, and that's with Sarah watching Netflix and me with 27 browsers open. I just pulled my hair hard. I pull on it really hard. Yes. You can feel it. It's real hair, man. I just have great hair. Just admit it. Yeah. No one under 55 watches TV. Save your money, Dave. I will. Trust me, I'm not worried about it. But honestly, most people are broke right now. It's dehydration time in your wallet. 63% of our population, and this is a recent poll that was done, 63% of people in America are $500 away from being on the street if they lose their job. This is a surprisingly disturbing statistic. $500, that's how far 63% are to just being on the street. So as your president, I'm going to be implementing a strategy to get the 10 cities much more facilities for washing clothes, taking showers, bathrooms, even mailboxes, and Wi-Fi charging stations. That's what I'm planning. And we'll be rolling those out with the same type of a truck that I'm planning for the medical relief system in 200 cities. Because we are facing critical shortages in terms of our capital. We can print up money as we go, and they've done that. That's the strategy the two parties have been using. But we've got to wean ourselves off of this incredibly expensive healthcare cost and military industrial cost. Building up for war is costing us way too much than it should. You're one check from being homeless? Yeah, a lot of people are. But we need to have something. Yeah, we need to have Wi-Fi charging stations, solar powered, Wi-Fi connections for all the people who are in homeless areas so they can get jobs. Definitely. And we'll also be able to provide these mobile units, which I think will be revolutionary. We're going to take gutted out units similar to the ones we're going to create mobile medical units out of. And these will be very similar to the designs I'm going to show you right here. Thanks for staying for the extended show, by the way. I'd like to talk more in depth at this time. But the mobile medical units will be a major change in our direction. Every VA will have one of these connected to it, if not up to 10, depending on which city we're in. LA will have up to 10 of these units. Chicago will have up to 10 of these units. But 200 of these units will roll out, providing health care at the VA facilities to anybody. VA facilities will offer free health care to veterans, but anybody who's not a veteran will pay $30 for a copay to get seen or sign an affidavit saying that they are broke. and then we'll give them some Medicaid-funded health care. We'll also have a medical marijuana dispensary in the back, and once I become president, I've even said I'm going to legalize marijuana. So the idea of a dispensary in the back of that unit, right back there, is totally possible. The unit will run on hempoline. The generators will run on hempoline. We'll initially be using diesel or whatever is available, but eventually convert to hempoline. And we'll fund the operation with medical sale of marijuana off the back and co-pays. And this will actually bring money into the government. We'll make enough money to make more units the next year and have maybe 300 or 400 units across the country. But the ones that are gutted out will actually have on them portable restrooms that have the storage area necessary for, it may just be kind of like a simple honey bucket kind of solution initially outside the units, because we don't want to contaminate them, but we might have washer dryer setups, etc. All right, pot is a really good thing for people, Cat's Tail. It's preventing a lot of people from suffering from the ravages of chemotherapy, lack of appetite. You need to get with the program. Guest 603, can we get rid of the Postal Service? Yeah, I think the first method would be to open up first-class mail to FedEx, so people would have the option of sending their first-class mail through FedEx or some other source. And then I'd like to at least give it a try to get the U.S. Postal Service to work right during that transition period. So we may be shutting it down for a few days at a time, and that will segue into intermittent deliveries 3 times a week to separate areas, separate zip codes. We could actually make it odd days go to odd zip codes, even days go to even zip codes, something like that. And that would limit the amount of money we spend on gas and delivery costs for our labor. But we need to revise the USPS. It's a private corporation, quasi-governmental agency. It's really running at $7 billion deficit every year. Bad planning, really bad planning. Pot is really good for people, and I think a lot of people are going to want to enjoy it the rest of their life. So, Tepec State, I think you're on the wrong channel here if you really think that's happening. Legalization of marijuana is a win-win for me. Well, right now, the DMCA fair use laws are not really being properly handled. They're overly concerned at YouTube about DMCA violations. Digital Millennium Copyright Act violations have been excessive by YouTube, and I want to get them reeled back quite a bit. Google, I think, is a monopoly, and they need to be broken up. You could all work at Google from your home, making $36,000 a year, and any number of you could be working. I'm not saying everybody, but everybody here could. But the idea of people right now working at Google making $300,000 a year, God knows what they're doing for that cost. It's ridiculous. So we believe that more jobs, less payout, more productivity. Much better. 10 people could be earning that, what one guy's earning at Google. And frankly, Google's practically written in stone now. It's almost a dialed-in functional utility. Much like other organizations like eBay, their R&D is limited. You can see eBay, they don't even add videos to their eBay products. They haven't even done any research and development into the idea of people selling their wares with videos. Can you imagine? I mean, they're still functioning, eBay is, with a tremendous amount of money, but with a staff that doesn't even have the brains to say, hey, I'd like to upload a video of my product. Let's say I want to sell this. This is a little thing that my sister gave me. It'd be great. How can I sell this if it just says no on it, right? It's like, what is this? It's like, sex toy? No. It has to be sold by video. No. No. I'd have to show this to people. Is it a crack pipe? Yeah, but what is this? Yeah. So obviously, eBay doesn't even have the brains to put a video supply system on there so that people could upload a short 15, 20-second video of a product. Can you imagine? These people are imbeciles. And they get away with making money on every transaction and continue padding their pockets. They don't have any innovation. I mean, it's a joke. And Google, frankly, has done what they could with all the money they got from the government. So what's the point of not just, why don't we just admit the government owns Google and we, the people, should run it? It's ridiculous to allow this company to engage in this fraud and allow the NSA to act as a secret social network for their privacy issues, so they can harvest information from our personal privacy by simply tagging into whatever we're doing online. It's ridiculous. Yeah, the video feature could reduce scammers on eBay, but why hasn't anybody thought of that? I mean, it's ridiculous. It shows you the empty brains in the tech sector right now. Yes, you will have if you have a broken body part, the mobile medical unit will have a way to patch it up and give you a brace. And the charging of shipping right now, folks, USPS, oh my God. I just sent a package to Alabama that was this big. I'm serious. It weighed 13 pounds. You're not going to believe what I paid. It's phenomenal. The lowest price I could get was on FedEx. It was unbelievable. USPS wanted $73 for priority mail. UPS wanted $62. FedEx was $53 or $50 to go FedEx from Washington to Alabama for a package this big, 13 pounds, $50. So if you're trying to sell stuff online, you're screwed. Yeah, I tried flat rate shipping. It didn't fit. Yeah, $73 for USPS priority. For a 13-pound package. And it was like 13 by 15 by 10. It was ridiculous. Hello from Nara, Japan. Welcome. No, I'm not going to shut down anything until we can fix it. If we can't fix it, then I'll shut it down. Let's give it a shot at trying to fix this. You know, number one, USPS takes all kinds of low-cost shipping rates from direct mailers. They'll send you a pile of crap in your mail, and they won't get more than 25 cents for the whole batch. But they're willing to charge me $50 for a small box to go across the country. You can't send it media mail. If it is not media mail, they can open it up. They can open up any package, so your package is vulnerable. I was setting dishes. They were antique dishes. You can imagine how hard it is to mail antique dishes and call it media mail. Oh yes, my China from the East Indies was talking to me. It's a recording device. I mean, you just can't sell dishes any other way. I couldn't sell these dishes. It took me 4 years to sell a set of 32 different dishes that were from French Indonesia, China, early Vietnamese or something, French Indonesia actually, 1925. That's how old they were. In the end, I got like 75 cents a piece for these dishes. They weren't really something I wanted though. It's not like, so whoever collects dishes could eventually buy them. And 4 years later, I finally sold them. I spent $50 of the shipping. All right, so thank you very much for coming in, everybody. This has been a glorious show. As you know, I would love to be able to get everybody an amazing new kitchen when they get their home in our homestead renewal plan. We're looking at a kitchen like this. That's something that's one of the things that we're looking at, like a General Electric or a Maytag home of tomorrow. But that's very cost effective to do that. The Corian cabinets are prefabricated now at Home Depot, so we could buy the entire countertop prefabricated. And if some house that we fix up just needs a refacing, we could actually just paint the cabinets really bright white with really good acrylic paint. That works in every single situation where you have cabinets that are getting old and you go for a bright white color. This is a tan color, but that works too. There's a lot of ways to fix houses up that are cheap. And my eyes look red. Well, that's probably because I've been around a lot of chemtrails today. Yeah. It's been spraying above me everywhere we go today. You know, I wanted to show you. I'll leave with this video, and we play videos into the evening, by the way, till 2 in the morning in case you want to hang out and chat with everybody. But check out this. This will blow your mind. This is a chemtrail video spraying blood in the atmosphere. Now, I told you about how they could be dumping viruses that control violent thoughts. God knows what they're messing with. This is weird. Check this out. And by the way, everyone, this is an ongoing daily show. If you don't watch us tonight, you'll catch us tomorrow night. The only day we take off is Sunday. Yeah, blood, yeah. It'll blow your mind. Anyway, thanks for coming in to Conspiracy Monday. I'll be here tomorrow with Truth Tuesday, where we talk about a lot of false flag issues the government seems to be pushing in front of us with very little evidence of their entire validity. We're not really sure if Brussels even happened, this bombing really happened. Many of us are really questioning it, so we'll talk about that tomorrow night. Thanks for coming in. Yeah, good question though. You know, red eyes, chemicals, bonds, sure. Pro-legalization, yeah, you're onto something there. You're a pretty smart feller. Or as my dad used to say, fart smeller. Take care, everybody.